Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome tonight to the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse, the bubble, as you can see in the background tonight as we get ready for our coverage of Valley City State University Viking Volleyball on the Voice of the Vikings and the Voice of the Valley, KOVC, and also for Valley City State University Athletics on their YouTube channel tonight. We have entered into a partnership that we think will be a very good one and a fun one to be a part of. Starting this year and continuing for 3 years, KOVC and I3G Media will be the official streaming partners for Valley City State University Viking Athletics. It's the first of its kind type of agreement that goes on here in the North Star Athletic Association, and one of the few that's going on in the region with an official partnership between a media outlet and a university or high school when it comes down to the streaming of their matches. And we're very excited to be a part of it here tonight here at the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse. It gets started with Valley City State at home to take on Concordia College. And this will be an interesting matchup between a Division III school from Moorhead, Minnesota that's had its troubles the last few years and certainly under a new coach is having a few struggles with growing pains this year. Faith Dooley takes over the program at Concordia College, and Faith has a fantastic volleyball pedigree. Central Cass, North Dakota product, went to the University of North Dakota, led UND to a national tournament and a Big Sky Conference championship during her time, was just one of the dominant players in her league, and now will take over with the coaching stripes for the Cobbers, who are 0-5 coming into this matchup tonight. They haven't won a set yet. They've been swept 5 times, so they're looking to try to turn some things around against a Viking volleyball team that's 6-4 and coming off of an historic season a year ago where they made their way to the national tournament for the very first time. And then in the process went down to Central Methodist and won a matchup in Missouri and made their way to the final rounds of the tournament, which took place, of course, at the Tyson Event Center in Sioux City, Iowa. Now they'd like to build on that process. But there have been a few challenges for Valley City State along the way as well. And one of those challenges is the loss of their libero, J.C. Richter, who had a fantastic season a year ago. Richter, I've been following along, no recording, no statistics as of yet. You wondered, okay, what's going on? Obviously, she's still there. Her family bleeds Valley City State through and through. J.C. fell off a horse this summer, broke a hand, and had to have corrective surgery a couple of times. And so they're hoping to get her back about halfway through the conference rotation. And obviously, that gives some Vikings an opportunity to step in and do the thing for her. Delaney Clark comes into the night as the reigning Defensive Player of the Week in the North Star Athletic Association. She's had a fantastic season with 213 digs. But what this comes down to for the Vikings is Sadie Hansen quarterbacking this team. 370 assists, along with 51 kills this year. She's turned into a dual threat type of setter for Valley City State, and the addition of Macy Frigid, who transferred last spring from the University of Jamestown and currently leads the Vikings in kills with 124. This is a Viking team that has a fierce block, and it maybe picked up a little bit of steam during the offseason. They've recorded good numbers that way so far this year, and so we're definitely looking forward to see that come through tonight here at the Fieldhouse. We're here tonight. Next week on Wednesday, we'll make our way back to Gratian Dim for a matchup with Dickinson State and come back here on Thursday for the University of Jamestown coming in, which is now a conference matchup in the North Star Athletic Association. But tonight we get to kick it off here at the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse, and hopefully we'll have a lot of fans that show up around game time to kind of give us a good look at a Viking team that is coming off of a national tournament berth a year ago and is primed for some big things this season. It's Valley City State at 6-4, taking on Concordia College, who is 0-5. We'll come back, take a look at some of the players to watch in this one, and get the words of Michelle Micklejohn in her second year as the head coach of Valley City State University Viking Volleyball. So stay with us. This is our coverage of Viking Volleyball, and again, you can find our video coverage tonight. Go to newsdakota.com, look underneath the sports tab, and you'll be able to find the link for this matchup tonight. You'll be able to take it in there, and you can also do a search for the Valley City State University Athletics YouTube page, and you'll be able to find it there as well. If you're looking quickly, you can go right to newsdakota.com, and it will take you to the same link. Again, look underneath the sports tab, and throughout the night, we'll be referring to some of our video coverage for those of you that are with us on KOVC Radio, and feel free to check us out on video or radio, however you're comfortable bringing in the coverage tonight. We're just glad to have you along with us here tonight at the Bubble. It's the Vikings and Concordia, and we're back with more in a couple of moments right here on the Voice of the Vikings and the Voice of the Valley, KOVC, for Valley City State University Viking Athletics.
Looking for a college experience where you can get a degree and make a difference? Valley City State University is the top public regional college in North Dakota, as ranked by U.S. News & World Report. Visit today at vcsu.edu/visit.
This is Dr. Ryan Lorenz, physical therapist at Mobility Plus Rehabilitation, with offices in Enderlin, Lisbon, Gwinner, and Valley City. Our mission is to provide exceptional physical and occupational therapy by highly skilled therapists to minimize pain and maximize mobility, which quickly allows you to return to the quality of life you desire. We will evaluate and educate you on your condition, review treatment options, and create an effective treatment plan to solve your impairments based on your unique situation and needs. I invite you to call our offices at Mobility Plus today.
Are you on the right financial path? Are all your financial professionals on the same page? At LaRue Laco Financial, you can be assured that your investment professional and tax professional are working together. Call Ryan LaRue or Chase Carpenter at 701-845-6938. Securities offered through LPL Financial. Member FINRA, SIPC. Grotberg Electric believes in quality first, taking pride in the work and standing behind every project they do. They bring together the power, technology, and experience to keep your business online. The success of Grotberg Electric depends on three major ideals: the quality of their products, the commitment to their customers, and most of all, their customer service. Call Grotberg Electric today at 845-3010 or visit them online, grotbergelectric.com.
We aren't meant to be still. And while you determine the direction you'll go, we're just here to help you along the way. So go. Go with experience. Go with teamwork. Go with neighbors. Go with integrity.
Why choose professional eye care centers? 3 great reasons are Dr. Bond, Dr. Freilich, and Dr. Jangula, 3 of the most educated professional optometrists you'll ever meet. Next is their many locations. You can now see one of their spectacular doctors in Jamestown, Valley City, Carrington, Edgeley, Ellendale, and Lemoore. And finally, their fantastic selection. And yes, all of their frames and lenses are backed up by warranty. Visit proeyecarecenters.com and make an appointment today. Professional eye care centers, clearly the best.
Welcome back to our coverage of Valley City State University Viking volleyball tonight here on the Voice of the Vikings and the Voice of the Valley, KOVC, and also on Valley City State University Viking Athletics, I3G Media, and KOVC, along with NewsDakota.com. Pleased to be your official streaming source for Valley City State University Viking Athletics for home games throughout the course of the year. We'll be with you this year for volleyball, for football, and also for men's and women's basketball throughout the course of the season as well. And looking forward to taking this partnership that's been there for quite a while to a new level and to a great level out there when it comes down to video coverage that we can offer for Valley City State University. Tonight, the Vikings are 0-5. They'll take on Concordia College. The Vikings are 6-4, and they'll take on Concordia College, who comes into this matchup at 0-5 tonight. Non-conference matchup. The Vikings do have some conference matchups coming up a little bit later along the way. We'll talk more about that later in our pregame report. Let's give you a look at which Vikings that we're here to watch coming up tonight. Obviously, we're here to watch all of them this evening, but you can see, for those of you that are watching with our video coverage tonight, Sadie Hansen has just become really everything for this Viking volleyball team. A third-team All-American a year ago for Sadie Hansen, along with a 2-time Setter of the Week already this year, and there have been only 3 of those awards. Sadie comes into the night with a 370 assist, 116 dig season going on right now, averaging 8.5 sets per set, or assists per set. She's been a fantastic player for Valley City State throughout the course of her history. Macy Fridgen in the center of your screen. That's a new player for Valley City State. Transferred in a year ago from the University of Jamestown in the spring, so not quite a year ago. The Vikings had to replace Marty Scutchings, who had a huge run for Valley City State a year ago and helping them get to the national tournament. And Macy Fridgen maybe wasn't seeing the playing time that she wanted to see at the University of Jamestown and thought she could see more here, and she has. 124 kills so far this season, and a .244 hitting percentage. She's performed extremely well. And then we mentioned Delaney Clark, who stepped into that libero role in the absence of J.C. Richter and has been fantastic. Defender of the week last week with 240 digs coming into this matchup tonight. She has been, or rather 213 digs coming into this matchup tonight. She has truly been a leader for Valley City State, stepping into that role throughout the course of this year. For the Cobbers, players to watch tonight include Mallory Leitner, 29 kills, 6 blocks so far this year, one of their leaders offensively. Anna Canine will take over at the setter's position tonight, although with Canine, 50 assists on the year, will not start in that setter spot tonight. Faith Dooley and the Cobbers going to play a little different with their rotation. They're starting in their 4 rotation, which means Betsy Schultz will start as the setter tonight. Canine will come through when they get in their 1, 2, and 3, but Schultz will get the start in that spot. And then Kayla Saylor has been an all-around player for Concordia College this season. 39 digs, 29 kills, and 4 blocks. One of the players that really shows up in their statistics report, going all the way around the front and back row. Those are the Cobbers that we have for you to watch this evening as we get ready for the matchup here at the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse tonight. Earlier, we had a chance to talk with Michelle Micklejohn, who's the head coach of Viking Volleyball. Let's get those comments, as she was happy to finally be home after a long swing of the season that started on the road. Here we are, September 10th. And finally playing a home matchup.
Coach, it's just got to be good to be home. It's been a long time of being on the road. You're back here in the bubble. Nice to be here.
Yeah, it feels good. Our first tournament was down in Florida, so that was quite the trip. And then we've been to Sioux City and La Crosse, Wisconsin. So good not to get off of a bus today.
Absolutely. 10 matches in, and Coach, taking a look at some of the scores that we've had, good opponents, some good wins. Yeah. At the same time, maybe a little bit of inconsistency here and there in some of those matches with the teams that you've seen so far this year.
Yeah, I think every weekend, well, we've only played 2 weekends, but every weekend I just keep saying we keep getting better and we want to grow. Even though with those losses, like, as long as we learn and grow from them, I think that's the point of it all. So yeah, I'm feeling good about this week, and next week with conference starting, I think we're well enough prepared.
Let's take a look at what you have with your team this year. You returned a good core of your players from a year ago, but Marty Scutchings, who's on your bench now as a coach, had to be replaced, and Macy Fridgen comes into the program and has done a really nice job for you, sort of balancing out that offense up front.
Yes, she has. She has spent some time at her previous school, but she kind of just jumped in, and she's still got a lot of learning to do, but yeah, she's done a nice job for us.
And then, of course, defensively, Delaney Clark, reigning conference setter of the week, to go with Sadie Hansen, who just keeps doing Sadie Hansen things. But that back end of the floor has really been a nice, solid place for you to get started this year.
Yeah, we've had some injuries this summer, and then into the fall we've had some injuries with defensive players, and I think everybody's really stepped up and into roles that they're not necessarily. I mean, Delaney was a setter for her entire life and has only ever played 3 rotations, so she's doing a nice job in the 6 rotations that she's in there, and kind of every weekend it gets better with her leadership, and I'm really proud of all of them for stepping up.
And then give us a preview of Concordia tonight. They've had a tough season, 0-5, and looking to win a set here. They're probably better than advertised, but tell us what you know about the Cobbers.
They are. We saw them at the scrimmage. It seems like forever ago, but they're always really competitive. They try to run a fast offense, so we're going to try to get our block going early. But other than that, I think if we play our game and win the serve and pass, I think we'll be just fine.
Michelle Micklejohn joining us tonight, the head coach of Viking Volleyball, for our pregame report this evening. And, you know, playing their game obviously is going to be the thing the Vikings want to do. Still playing without J.C. Richter, which I think the Vikings have enough depth to try to overcome that throughout the course of the early part of this season. But some tests are coming up. Obviously, Concordia tonight. Dickinson State's been a bit down in the volleyball sort of thing. University of Jamestown is going to be a big test a week from this coming Thursday. Right back here at the bubble, those will be some of the big tests that the Vikings are going to get themselves into as we get ready to go for this season. But tonight it's Concordia College. Good to have Michelle Micklejohn on part of our pregame report tonight, which is brought to you by Sanford Health Valley City, here for all and here for good. When we come back, we'll give you a look at the picture that our league teams have put together so far this season. Who's had the nice season? Who's trying to build? What are some of the surprises as far as the conference package is concerned? So we'll take a look at that coming up as we continue in just a couple of moments, so do stay with us. This is our coverage of Viking volleyball. It's the Vikings and Concordia College tonight on the Voice of the Vikings, the Voice of the Valley, KOVC, and also on Valley City State University Viking Athletics. Our pregame report will continue in just a couple of moments.
Looking for a quality, affordable education to get you the career you want? Strengthen your resume with a degree from Valley City State University. From education to business, fisheries and wildlife to software engineering. We have it all. Learn more about becoming a Viking today.
When you're craving the taste of juicy, flavorful, locally sourced beef and pork, look no further than your locally owned Valley Meat Supply. At Valley Meat Supply, we take pride in bringing you the finest cuts of beef and pork straight from local producers. So whether you're planning a mouth-watering barbecue or a cozy family meal, choose Valley Meat Supply for the highest quality, locally grown beef, pork, and award-winning jerky, sticks, and sausage. Valley Meat Supply, West Main, Valley City. Your taste buds will thank you.
Get ready for an evening of fun and excitement as the Valley City CHI Mercy Health Foundation brings you Casino Night on October 5th at the Valley City Eagles Club from 5 to 9. Double down on an evening filled with food, casino gaming, silent auction, raffle boards, and prizes, hosted by Patrick Kirby. All proceeds raised at Casino Night will be directed towards upgrades to life-saving equipment at CHI Mercy Hospital in Valley City. For more info and to purchase your tickets, head to chimercyhealth.org under the Foundation tab and select events.
Hi, this is Clint from Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy in beautiful downtown Valley City, your only locally owned pharmacy since 1989. When you're locally owned, you care about your community and your customers. We offer a great selection of gifts and toys, as well as yarns, fabrics, sewing, and crafting. We are here for you from 9 to 5:30 weekdays and Saturdays 9 to 1. For all your pharmaceutical needs, give us a call, 845-5280.
Health Mart, taking time to listen and care.
Welcome back to our coverage of Viking volleyball tonight on Valley City State University Viking Athletics YouTube channel, and also here on the Voice of the Vikings, the Voice of the Valley, KOVC. Again, for those of you joining us tonight, you can join us for video coverage of this event this evening by going to newsdakota.com. Look underneath the sports tab on the homepage, and you will find the link to live video there. And you'll also be able to find that live video link in our sports category as well, in our sports news coverage that we have for you tonight. You can also do a search for Valley City State University Viking Athletics on YouTube. You can pull it up on your smart TV or your smart device. And if you're at home, kicking back, hope you'll enjoy a good volleyball match with us tonight as we get ready for the Vikings and Concordia to do battle this evening. Let's tell you a little bit about the story that we've had so far this season with the 6 teams that are now in the North Star Athletic Association. And as we start our rundown through the conference, one of the names that you'll notice is missing. We knew Waldorf was leaving. Bellevue did as well. So as the University of Jamestown stepped in, we actually lost 2 teams in volleyball inside the conference as we lost Viterbo. I'm sorry, not Bellevue. My apologies. Viterbo left the conference, as did Waldorf, and so we're down to 6 teams in the conference. You can see, for those of you dialing in, that the University of Jamestown, a 6-0 start to the season, Bellevue an 8-0 start to the season, and both of those teams are ranked in the top 10 in the country. The University of Jamestown ranked 4th, and Bellevue, the Bruins, ranked 8th. Valley City State was ranked 22nd to start the year. They've since dropped out of the standings, or I should say the top 25 poll. They are receiving votes. They would be the 3rd team out on the way looking in, and that was good enough to get them an at-large berth into the national tournament a year ago, although they're looking to do better than that throughout the course of this season. And they've had a couple of setbacks along the way to some teams that they probably feel like they should have been more competitive with. And that being said, they moved from number 22 to essentially number 28, a 6-4 season. Dakota State, still a good volleyball team at 7-5. Dickinson State 3-3. They've been able to stay 500, and 2-4 for Mayville State University. Some good competition, but maybe a bit of a slow start for the Comets this year, as they've got a team that's fairly able to take care of a lot of different challenges that are in front of them. So we'll have to see how that team comes along throughout the course of the year. But as you can see, in the left-hand column of those standings, no one's played a conference game yet. As you can see in the further left, the University of Jamestown, since entering the North Star Athletic Association, is really the top dog in the conference right now and will be chasing that UJ team when they come over here coming up a couple of Thursdays from now. And when UJ comes over, they're going to feel like they owe us one in this building after the Vikings swept the University of Jamestown a year ago in their historic season that they had on their way to a national tournament berth. But again, UJ, perfect. Bellevue, perfect. 6-0 for the Jimmies, 8-0 for Bellevue. Everyone else right around 500. Valley City State receiving votes, and we've got two teams in the conference that are currently in the top 10 in the nation as far as the rankings are concerned, which will make that a tough conference to get through. Those are the standings that we have for you coming into this matchup that we have for you tonight. We'll keep you up to date with scores as we go along throughout the course of the night as well. Our pregame report tonight brought to you by Sanford Health Valley City, here for all and here for good. When we come back, we'll take a look at our starting lineups as they begin to make the announcements in this one, and we'll get ready for first serve of this matchup tonight between the Vikings and Concordia College, which is on the way in just a couple of moments, so do stay with us. This is our coverage of Valley City State University Viking Volleyball on the Voice of the Vikings, the Voice of the Valley, KOVC. Streamed at newsdakota.com and on the Valley City State University Viking channel on YouTube. Stay with us. We've got more coming up in a couple of moments.
Sanford Health of Valley City is dedicated to transforming your healthcare experience and providing access to world-class healthcare right here in America's heartland. We're committed to improving the human condition at every stage of life through exceptional care, spiritual enhancement, innovation, and discovery. Schedule your appointment today at Sanford Health of Valley City by calling 701-845-6000 or self-schedule online at mysanfordchart.org. Sanford Health, here for all, here for good.
When your team, school, or business needs custom apparel or promotional products, Rambo is here to help. With over 40 years of industry-leading experience, state-of-the-art machines, and dedicated employees, we have the tools and facility to handle any job. With online ordering solutions for sports teams and businesses alike, you can count on us to get the job done correctly and on time. Get your next project started, contact Matt or visit us online at rambo.com.
Experience the thrill, feel the passion, and join the excitement. Tickets on sale now at VCSUVikings.com.
Lang hard to the basket with a two-hand flush. He burst through it. He's to the end zone. Touchdown, Valley City State.
Here's the game-winning shot. Does it go? Yes, it does!
Nelson on the attack. Holland can't make the play. The Vikings sweep the Jimmy.
Orthopedic pain is limiting. It's unpredictable. And when it disrupts the way you move, it disrupts the way you live. Life is better when you feel empowered to move the way you want, when you want. And that's where our experts come in. We're your guides to orthopedic and sports medicine treatment options that can manage your pain, rehab your injuries, and restore your confidence. Take back the freedom to move. Explore your orthopedic options at Sanford Health.
Lever's Foods, best quality, best price. Lever's Foods, best service, they're nice. Lever's Foods, they make everything right.
Fall into savings all this week at Lever's Foods in Valley City. New crop Honeycrisp or Sweet Tango apples, $1.49 a pound. All natural pork shoulder roast, $1.79 a pound. Boneless sirloin steak, just $6.99 a pound. And banquet pot pies, 5 for only $4.85. Delivery is available by calling 845-1732. Lever's Foods, Valley City.
Welcome back to our coverage of Viking volleyball tonight on the Voice of the Vikings and the Voice of the Valley, KOVC. Our video coverage tonight on newsdakota.com and also tonight on the Valley City State University Viking Athletics YouTube channel. Time for our starting lineups tonight that we have for you this evening. Concordia College and Valley City State University. Let's take a look at what we have for our starters tonight. Two liberos for Concordia College. They will start. Avery Templin at that position. She's out of Roseau, Minnesota, and also Elizabeth Noggle out of Walker, Minnesota at the liberos positions tonight. The center will be Betsy Schultz, as we mentioned, a freshman out of Fargo, North Dakota. The right side hitter this evening will be Jordan Johnson. She's from South Range, Wisconsin. The outside hitters tonight are Mallory Leitner, someone to worry about, 6-footer out of Dilworth, Minnesota. Also Samantha Van Heel, a 5'9" senior out of Albany, Minnesota at an outside hitter's position tonight. And also tonight, Kayla Saylor at an outside position from Fargo, North Dakota. This evening in the middle will be Megan Olson, number 5, out of Horace, North Dakota. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem. National anthem performed here tonight at Valley City State University in the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse. Let's take a look at our starting lineups tonight for Valley City State University as the Vikings get set to take on Concordia College this evening. The libero tonight for Valley City State will be Delaney Clark, a junior from Bismarck, North Dakota. The setter tonight is Sadie Hansen, a senior from Oaks, North Dakota, who's had a fantastic Hall of Fame career. Defensive specialist tonight, Lexi Thorsgaard. You'll know her as Lexi LaRue, but over the offseason, well, she picked up a husband. That's what she did. She got married to Viking quarterback Avery Thorsgaard, and she's listed now as Lexi Thorsgaard on the roster, a senior out of Valley City, North Dakota this evening. Outside hitters tonight will be Macy Fridgen. She is out of Bismarck, North Dakota, and a junior. Also at the outside tonight is Emma Lucas, one of those terrific players we've had from Argosville, North Dakota, a junior that will start on that outside hitter spot tonight. Morgan Nelson and Danielle Hagler will start in the middle positions. Morgan Nelson will also start on the opposite side tonight, a senior from Argosville, North Dakota, and Danielle will start as the middle blocker tonight, a junior from Candu, North Dakota. Faith Dooley is the head coach of Concordia College. Michelle Micklejohn is the head coach of Valley City State University, and so fitting, you've got two North Dakota products that are in those coaches' positions. Faith Dooley, who played her high school volleyball at Central Cass, and then of course went to the University of North Dakota. And Michelle Micklejohn was Michelle Warren. She was from Oaks, North Dakota at the time. So a couple of Class B volleyball products that are now running teams, one for Concordia and one for Valley City State. And it's going to be fun to watch that rivalry work out over the next few years, as I would assume we're going to have some more matches with Concordia College coming up in the near future. Those are your starting lineups that we have for you this evening. I want to thank Sanford Health Valley City for bringing us our pregame report tonight. Sanford Health Valley City, they are here for all, and they are here for good. And it was a pleasure to bring you the pregame report on behalf of Sanford Health tonight here on the VCSU Athletics YouTube channel and also on KOVC, the voice of the Valley, and at newsdakota.com. And again, for those of you that are finding us on radio coverage this evening, you have the opportunity to find us on video coverage as well. You can go to newsdakota.com, look underneath the sports tab at the top of the page, and when you go to that sports tab, you'll find a few different links there. Look for the Vikings versus Concordia College link that is there. You'll be able to pull that in, and that will bring you right to the YouTube page that we're on this evening. If you're at home or on your way home, you have the opportunity on your smart device in your man cave or wherever you may be, put it up on the big screen, and you'll be able to pull that in and watch that coverage play out in video while you take this one in via the radio here tonight. We're looking forward to having more and more of that partnership with Valley City State throughout the course of this year and the years to come as their official video streaming partner. Well, the announcements of the lineups have come to a conclusion, and now it's time to get going here at the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse at the Bubble. Those of you that are watching, you can see in the background there have been plenty of aesthetic changes. They've painted, they've made everything match as far as the Cardinals that are on the walls, the Cardinal that's in the scoreboard. Valley City State has put their distinctive colors on the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse, and the facelift has been fantastic. Love the Viking and the big circle in the floor. And exciting times here at Valley City State. Expecting some enrollment numbers coming up soon that will be very, very positive enrollment numbers for the Vikings as we get started. The Vikings will be in black. For those of you on radio, white and cardinal trim on our right. Concordia is in white with the maroon and black trim, and Concordia will be on our left to get things started this evening. And we'll see a change as Delaney Clark will come onto the floor for the Vikings to replace Emma Lucas in the Viking lineup. And it looks as though Concordia has Elizabeth Noggle coming onto the floor as their libero as well. And Betsy Schultz will step onto the floor to take over as the setter. And it will be Schultz that will be doing the serving for Concordia. We are about to get underway with volleyball tonight. Schultz will serve from our left to right. The Vikings back to receive. And we are ready to get underway with college volleyball this evening here on i3G Media News, Dakota.com, KOBC, and the VCSU Athletics page. Delaney Clark with a pass. Hansen will set Phrygian from the outside. It's long, and the point will go to Concordia. That'll make it 1-0 in favor of the Cobbers. Opening play goes to Phrygian on the outside. And just a bit of a mishit. Had some good velocity on it. Just mistimed that back line. And Schultz will serve again for the Cobbers. She's a lefty. Serve on the way near side. Delaney Clark, again a good pass. Hansen setting middle and a big kill up the middle. Danielle Hagler gets the opening kill tonight for Valley City State. Ties up the opening set at 1 apiece. And Delaney Clark will step back to do the serving for the Vikings. Clark in the white uniform is the libero this evening. And the serve is on its way over. Taken back row by Saylor, and it's blocked back. That's a receive error, floats across. And Danielle Hagler will come up with a block to get with her night. That'll make it 2-1 in favor of the Vikings here in the opening set. Hagler with 41 blocks on the season, the leader for the Vikings in that category. Clark serving again. This time we'll see a step in by Noggle to take control of it. Opening play to the outside for Leitner, and Leitner puts that away for Concordia, and that will tie things up at 2 apiece. Mallory Leitner, big body on the outside and really elevates well. She'll rotate out of the matchup. And we'll see the serve going to Elizabeth Noggle, the libero, who stands on the far side of the floor to send it over. Line drive serve taken by Delaney Clark. Set to the right side. Lucas trying to get off a touch and did so. Noggle was able to run it down from the attack line, sent over by Samantha Van Heel. Vikings with Lucas again on the opposite side. She paints the back line. And it's 3-2 Valley City State after 5 rallies on our Mobility Plus Rehabilitation and LaRue Lacko Financial scoreboard. Lucas with her first kill tonight. And Morgan Frege set to serve for Valley City State in a 3-2 lead for the Vikings. Frege on the way, dive in the middle of the floor to keep this afloat, and Jordan Johnson will pass the ball back over on a free ball. Tip, Danielle, correction, Morgan Frege. Frege comes up with the opening tip of the night. Dakota.com replay, and you'll see the tip coming in the middle of the floor. And it's really good to see Morgan Frege getting into the act early on this one after the ball went back across. Just the tip there for Morgan Frege. And that brings us to a point where the Vikings take that 4-2 lead. Be 4-3 as Concordia College gets one back. Frege earned her first kill in that sequence. And it'll be a 1-point lead for Valley City State as the Cobbers will send Hannah Mooney, one of their top defensive players, in to serve for Concordia. Mooney serve on the way. Delaney Clark with a pass. Hansen back setting. Right side. Nelson down. Big kill. Look at the velocity that Morgan Nelson was able to generate on that. 5-3 in favor of the Vikings. Replay, and you'll see this play going immediately to the Viking outside. They wanted to get Morgan Nelson involved to keep that offense balanced, and picture perfect set from Hansen, and Nelson with striking velocity. Back up 2 by a score of 5-3. Outside play for Samantha Van Heel. Vikings trying to rally, but Lucas mishits one. It goes beyond the far line. Cobbers get one back, and it's 5-4 in favor of the Vikings. Cobbers will sub. Anna Canine will step in. Canine with their biggest numbers as far as setting the volleyball, and they may look at these rotations as their big rotations now for Concordia. Canine with 50 assists on the season, leading in that category. Hagler backs up for the pass. This is Freegee getting through a touch in the middle. Way up into the crowd. A save over in front of the Vikings sideline. It cannot be saved, rather. The Vikings will make it a 6-4 lead. And that was Freegee getting her second. Freegee on the night, coming in with 76 kills, 19 blocks. She's had a good overall season offensively. And Emma Lucas will serve for Valley City State. Short serve on the near side of the floor. Cobbers in second contact. Canine saved it, and the Vikings send it over. We've got net contact coming up against Concordia. Points going to go to the Vikings. That'll make it 7-4 in favor of the Cobbers. They're going to say that Lauren Bangs, was in the net. Or did they? I thought they called net contact on Concordia. Apparently they did not. They called it on the Vikings instead. They have it 6-4. Perhaps we're going to replay the point. Faith Dooley is asking for an explanation, and now they did put the scoreboard back to 7-4 Vikings. Concordia was standing as if it was their side out, but the Vikings are going to have the ball. The official did signal net contact on Concordia, and it was Lauren Bangs who was on the floor that was called in the net on that battle for a free ball, and the Vikings will serve leading by 3. Lucas serving, taken out of the back row by Kayla Saylor. Saylor gets it back, tries to attack the middle. Sadie Hansen on the pass for the Vikings. Good approach by Frigin. This is taken out of the back row by libero Avery Templin. From the attack line, big play by Van Heel. Vikings trying to run it down. Hagler made an impressive save, and this was sent back over, and the crowd loves it. Canine sets the middle, and that's covered by Sadie Hansen for the Vikings. To the outside, Frigin gets through a touch. Canine steps up out of the back row. Van Heel again, too long, and the Vikings will take the rally and take a 4-point lead. 8-4 Vikings on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. 4-point lead for Valley City State here in the opening set. Emma Lucas standing ready. Long way back to back pedal for Avery Templin. They'll set Van Heel on the outside. That's long. Vikings up 5 at 9-4. Now you begin to see where Concordia's struggles have been. They're finding a hard time to keep the ball in the playable territory right now. A couple of errors have put the Vikings up by a big lead here in the opening set. Serve on the way by Lucas towards the back row. Back pedal to get to it for Leitner. They go to the middle. Saylor got blocked, and it's down, and the Vikings will come up with another block from Morgan Freegee. Let's take a look at the latest play for Freegee that we had on that block. You'll see the Vikings serving here, and Concordia tries to get into their offense in the middle, and there's Freegee to put that one down. It drifts a little bit, but she comes up with the right play. For Valley City State, we have a timeout on the floor. A 10-4 lead for Valley City State. Scoreboard brought to you tonight by LaRue Laco Financial. We have a timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. We're back with more in a moment on your Voice of the Vikings and Voice of the Valley, KOVC, NewsDakota.com with our video coverage, and VCSU Viking Athletics on YouTube.
Looking for a college experience where you can get a degree and make a difference? Valley City State University is the top public regional college in North Dakota, as ranked by U.S. News & World Report. Visit today at vcsu.edu/visit.
Welcome back to our coverage of Viking Athletics tonight. Valley City State University YouTube channel for Viking Athletics, and also at newsdakota.com under the sports tab, the Voice of the Vikings, the Voice of the Valley, KOVC. The Vikings will serve. Reagan Bogenreef will step onto the floor for Valley City State to do the honors. Bogenreef stands ready, and the Vikings by 6 send it over out of a Concordia timeout. Saylor in the middle, long again. Point to the Vikings, makes it 11-4, Valley City State. Concordia has really struggled in the interior of this set to hit the volleyball. Their percentage going to be way down. They put several long beyond the back line. Bogenreef to serve again. Jump serve to the middle, steered by Templin on the pass. Canine has to save that off the net, and a tip up front will score for Lauren Banks. Vikings got caught a little flat-footed defensively on that play, and Lauren Banks comes up with the effort necessary. Bogenreef will step off. Lucas will enter so that Delaney Clark can come into the matchup for Valley City State. And Concordia will have Samantha Van Heel doing the serving, and that's a service error. Vikings up by 7 at 12-5. Lexi Thorsgaard will come back in, replacing Morgan Freege in the back row. Freege's done a really nice job tonight. And Lexi Thorsgaard will make her way into the matchup for the Vikings. 12-5 on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. Vikings by 7. Thorsgaard serving. And a long reach out of the back row for Mooney to get to that. Saylor defeats a block attempt. It scores for Concordia. They come to their right side, and Kayla Saylor comes up with her first kill tonight. Saylor, a very good all-around season so far for the Commers. 29 kills, 39 digs. Vikings up 12-6, and Saylor serving. Towards the middle, low pass. Delaney Clark got their Hansen, saved that play nicely down on the near side of the floor for Danielle Hagler. Replay. This one played well to Danielle Hagler. You'll see this pass a little short, and that's a great play by Sadie Hansen to keep Hagler involved in that play. That play gives the Vikings a 13-6 lead. Pass by Delaney Clark. Morgan Nelson from the outside will score. Hagler with a couple of kills and a block. Morgan Nelson comes up with one as well. And it's 14-6 Valley City State. Sadie Hansen will serve off the far side of the floor, and the Vikings making really good progress here in the opening set. Hansen stands ready as there was one attempt to start a serve and then stopped. Might have been a little confused on the go-ahead. Saylor with a pass for Concordia. Set to the outside. A block up front for the Vikings, but it misses just long. Point will go to Concordia. Good approach up front by Jordan Johnson to come down with that effort, and there was a double-team block there for the Vikings. We mentioned that Valley City State's block has been a big part of their season so far, and they found more players to do it. They've had really, really good tempo blocks up front throughout the year. Back to the first rotation now. Betsy Schultz will step on and serve for Concordia. Will take over the setter's responsibility here as well. Taken by Hagler on the pass. Hagler put that in the net. They'll say play through it. Hansen wants to push deep on second contact. We played to Leitner, who will tip over a block attempt. Hansen got there for the first contact. Frigen will send it over. Got above a potential block. It's left on the attack line, and there's a block up front for Danielle Hagler again. Danielle Hagler coming up big. It's been so fun to have her as a Viking, and Danielle Hagler shows us. As we take a look at the NewsDakota.com replay, you'll see this ball come over from Concordia, and there's Danielle Hagler waiting right in the middle of the floor to put that one down, and a beautiful job done that time by the Vikings, and that will take us to a 15-8 matchup. Danielle Hagler coming up big for Valley City State on that play a moment ago. Ellie Lucas down. Emma Lucas, correction. Emma Lucas puts down one on the near side, her second kill tonight. And the Vikings make it 16-8. And Morgan Freege will come back into the matchup for the Vikings. Vikings dominant here in the opening set. Hagler set to serve. Serve on the way over, taken out of the back row by Saylor up front. Another block. This time it's Freege. Freege comes up with a block tonight. Beautiful play that time by Morgan Freege to get to it. Making it 17-8, Valley City State by 9. And Danielle Hagler will serve once again for the Vikings. Serve looping to the far side. This will be Van Heel that got to it. They set to the right side. The Vikings get a touch on it. It stays on the Vikings side. Hagler with a back row attack comes up short. Well, we saw Morgan Freege a moment ago as well. And let's take a look at what she can. Replay tonight. Another beautiful play by Morgan Freege, and that block just continues to be such a big part of what the Vikings can get done. And another that they just have not been able to figure out tonight. But Morgan Freege having a great night. Morgan Nelson has another kill as well for Valley City State. While we are away, the Cobbers picked one up. Vikings get another kill, that time for Morgan Nelson. And it's 18-9. Valley City State back up 9 on our LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. And the Vikings will make a change as they'll send in Gracie Schumacher, sophomore out of Linton, North Dakota, to come on. And we'll see a change for Ellie Rush coming into the matchup as well to do the serving here. Saylor over a potential block, hit it long. Another error by the Commers, and it's a 10-point Viking lead at 19-9. They've got it at 18-10 on the scoreboard. I'll go ahead and repair mine to theirs. May have inadvertently slipped a point someplace it didn't belong. My apologies for those of you that are listening and for those of you that are viewing tonight on the VCSU Viking YouTube page and also at newsdakota.com. Anna Kanine steps on to serve for Concordia. Back row pass from Schumacher. Hansen was able to run it down. Freegee from the attack line found the back line. Morgan Freegee. That's a nice recovery for Morgan, who's got 4 kills tonight. Came into the match with 76 kills. Has not gotten lost to the offense this evening at all. Couple of blocks, and Morgan having a really solid night tonight against the Cobbers. Bogenreef to serve for the Vikings. This will come out of the back row for Hannah Mooney. They'll set Van Heel on the outside. Pass from Frigin. Hansen on second contact will score for Valley City State. And a timeout coming up here for Concordia College as the Vikings go up 10. It's a timeout for Mobility Plus rehabilitation. You see what Sadie Hansen can do in that scenario. As we mentioned, that's become more of an offensive threat this season. Here she is on our newsdakota.com replay. This ball comes over and the Vikings struggle, so Hansen goes on second contact, caught the defense sleeping. And Sadie Hansen's been big tonight. We have a timeout. 20-10, the Vikings by 10. We'll take a timeout for Mobility Plus rehabilitation. This is Viking Volleyball on the Voice of the Vikings and the Voice of the Valley, KOBC, newsdakota.com, and on the VCSU Athletics YouTube channel.
This is Dr. Ryan Lorenz, physical therapist at Mobility Plus Rehabilitation, with offices in Enderlin, Lisbon, Gwinner, and Valley City. Our mission is to provide exceptional physical and occupational therapy by highly skilled therapists to minimize pain and maximize mobility, which quickly allows you to return to the quality of life you desire. We will evaluate and educate you on your condition, review treatment options, and create an effective treatment plan to solve your impairments based on your unique situation and needs. I invite you to call our offices at Mobility Plus today.
20-10 Vikings on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. Again, for those of you that are with us via radio tonight, you can join us for our video coverage as we talk about our replays this evening. That is for those that are on newsdakota.com viewing the video coverage on this. An ace is served up by Reagan Bogenreef to make it 21-10 Vikings. And you can also find that video at the Valley City State University Athletics YouTube channel. So when we mention things like our replays and that type of thing, what you can see, that's what we're referring to this evening. Bogenreef to serve with the Vikings up by a score of 21-10. Cobbers will go to their bench, and Concordia trying to get into their offense. They'll go middle, Saylor tipping. Sadie Hansen makes first contact with it. Frigin from the outside. Passed back across the net, and Frigin will come up with a kill. Vikings 22-10. Reagan Bogenreef will step back to serve for Valley City State. Bogenreef serving with the Vikings 3 points away from a first set victory. Cobbers with Kanine. 2 on the far side for Van Heel on their outside. Back to Frigin, who gets through a touch. This will be saved, backing up for Templin, and passed back over by Van Heel on a free ball. To the near side, Frigin got through a touch and scores. Macy Frigin makes it 23-10. Valley City State. 2 points from a commanding first set victory tonight for the Vikings. Bogenreef to serve. Handled out of the back row by Concordia. Quick second tempo try, and the Vikings won't get to that. Good play set up there by Betsy Schills. Actually, correction, that was Kayla Saylor that sent it over. And Saylor is not the setter in the lineup, but felt like she could make that piece of attack and did so. We'll see Samantha Van Heel going back to serve for Concordia with a lead 12 for the Vikings at 23-11 here in the opening set. Waiting for the go-ahead. We've got it, and Van Heel will serve for Valley City State. Handled back row by Ellie Rush. Outside, Frigin blocked. Ellie Rush was able to cover it. Schumacher passing. Right side, It's taken by Freegee on a twist. Concordia's got it. Long run to get to the middle of the floor for Leitner, who free balls it back over. Delaney Clark got to it, and here's a tip by Freegee once again, covered by Saylor. Back set, back row attack for Concordia. Delaney Clark was able to dig that up for the Vikings. Right side now, a pushback across the net, and that's going to fall for Valley City State, who has made a change in their lineup as well. The Vikings send in Rosie Anderson, Moorhead, Minnesota. Rosie's a Viking basketball player, apparently going to come over and play some volleyball for the Vikings as well, and that takes us to set point for Valley City State. The Vikings lead by 13. Lexi Thorsgaard will serve for the Vikings as the Viking crowd comes to life here on the near side looking for set point, but they won't get it right away. Lauren Bangs comes through an attack and scores. 24-12. Commers cut the lead back to 12. But the Vikings again on the verge of a commanding set one victory tonight. Kayla Saylor set to serve. Serve on the way over. Taken by Delaney Clark. Right side, getting through is Frigin. Frigin will score, and the Vikings put the first set away. Nice first set for the Viking offense, so the Vikings will take a 1-0 lead by a score of 25-12 here in the opener, and the Vikings will lead a 1-0 as we go to the second. We'll have our intermission report coming up in a couple of moments, so do stay with us. This is Viking Volleyball on the voice of the Vikings, the voice of the Valley, KOVC, and also on the Valley City State University Viking Athletics YouTube channel, along with newsdakota.com.
Are you on the right financial path? Are all your financial professionals on the same page? At LaRue Laco Financial, you can be assured that your investment professional and tax professional are working together. Call Ryan LaRue or Chase Carpenter at 701-845-6938. Securities offered through LPL Financial. Member FINRA, SIPC. Grotberg Electric believes in quality first, taking pride in the work and standing behind every project they do. They bring together the power, technology, and experience to keep your business online. The success of Grotberg Electric depends on three major ideals: the quality of their products, the commitment to their customers, and most of all, their customer service. Call Grotberg Electric today at 845-3010 or visit them online, grotbergelectric.com.
We aren't meant to be still. And while you determine the direction you'll go, we're just here to help you along the way. So go. Go with experience. Go with teamwork. Go with neighbors. Go with integrity.
Welcome back to our coverage of Viking volleyball. Valley City State University Viking Athletics YouTube channel. NewsDakota.com for video coverage this evening. Look underneath the sports tab. The voice of the Vikings, the voice of the Valley, KOVC. Vikings with a commanding win in the opening set, winning by a score of 25-12. Let's take a look at a couple of big plays that we had in that opening half for you here tonight as the Vikings really get going with the middle of their net this evening. There's a block. Morgan Freegee up front coming up with one of many opportunities that she's. That pushes it to a 1-0 matchup tonight. The Vikings will take that lead going into the second. And that's also another set that's been dropped by Concordia, which is one of the side stories in this one tonight. Concordia comes in having not won a set all year. 3-0 defeats in 5 straight matches to start the season, and the Vikings sent them to a 25-12 loss here in the opener. Faith Dooley will get this team figured out. She's going to have a good opportunity to recruit in that Fargo-Moorhead area. She's already brought in some freshmen from that Fargo-Moorhead area. She recognizes good Class B talent, so she'll get it done. It's going to take some time to rebuild the process, if you will. Meanwhile, the Vikings really saw good things, as we mentioned, from Freegee in that opening set. Danielle Hagler in that opening set as well, with some really nice things for us. And The Vikings able to take advantage of some of those opportunities in the middle of the net. As we get started with the second set tonight, Sadie Hansen will serve, and Kayla Saylor has to make a layout to get a pass on this. It'll come from Leitner on the outside for Concordia. Back to Frigid, right through a touch and down, and Valley City State takes a 1-0 lead here in the second. A quick run of the offense for the Vikings, and now you can see why Macy Frigid has been such a nice addition to this Viking team, as Hansen will serve again. Saylor out of the back row. This will be set by Schultz. Pushed across. The Vikings rally to it. Forsgaard from the attack line will loop one over, and Concordia's got an opportunity to run their offense. They'll push with Johnson off the right side. Frigid from the outside again through a touch. Covered back row by Elizabeth Noggle for Concordia. Way off the surface. That caught Concordia off guard. Vikings will take a 2-0 lead in a Concordia error. Been that kind of night for Concordia as well. The Vikings have executed quite well, and Concordia College has had their problems executing tonight, to say the least. Serving away from Sadie Hansen, taken back row by Saylor. It'll stay with her for a back row attack, and that's just flat out long. And I believe they're going to say that this was touched by the Vikings. So the Cobbers will win a lobbying effort and cut the lead to 2-1. 2-1 in the second. On the LaRue-Lacko Financial scoreboard, Vikings leading a set to none, took the opener in a 25-12 score. Serving the way, Danielle Hagler with a pass. They'll set right side. Frigid moving her around, just missed it. Vikings look for a touch, they can't get one. And Concordia will make it 2-2 here in the second. Something that Michelle Micklejohn talked about with us as we went through our pregame interview tonight. She mentioned that they've been looking for somebody truly on the outside. Macy Frigid's actually a middle. And she said she tried, as Morgan Nelson attacks and scores for the Vikings to make it 3-2. She said she tried a three-middle offense for a couple of sets and quickly decided to get out of it. Says this is what we're rolling with, at least for now. But that means Macy Frigid playing away from her natural spot, which is the middle, playing on the outside. Free ball down, Emma Lucas. You can't float one across like that, or the Vikings are just going to eat it up. Lucas comes up with that one, and the Vikings make it 4-2, a 2-point lead in favor of Valley City State on another error from Concordia. Delaney Clark serving. Handled off the near side by Leitner, and now Van Heel will get it back from the outside. Vikings cover. This will be on the outside for Lucas, hit it long. Point to Concordia, makes it 4-3. Replay, you send a free ball over, and that's what Concordia did on the serve, and you're going to end up in some trouble each time. You'll see this come back, and there was Lucas just waiting for it to pound that one. The Vikings getting aggressive against some of those mistakes. 4-3, Vikings by one, and the Vikings struggling to send one back to the Cobbers. Seth Saylor trying to speed up the offense. Hansen, first contact, pass to Lucas on the outside. And the dig comes to the near side from Templin. Be back on the outside, and Van Heel puts one down with some authority for Concordia to tie this matchup at 4 apiece. Concordia hasn't had a whole lot to cheer about. Take a look at that one on the newsdakota.com replay, and you'll see Van Heel running to that outside position right away, just waiting for it, and probably one of the best throughout the course of the night. Here's Danielle Hagler putting one away for the Vikings in the middle as the Vikings run their offense back to the middle of the floor, and Hagler with another big kill to make it 5-4. Valley City State by one. Vikings leading a set to none, 25-12 in the opener, and leading 5-4 here in the second set. On the LaRue-Lacko Financial scoreboard, Hagler serving. It's be set middle, Van Heel into a block. Comes back on the Vikings side, however. Vikings struggling to keep it afloat. Frigi looks to put it away. Be dug up by Concordia. Van Heel pushing deep and run down by Hagler. Hansen will push deep and just missed that back right corner. Tie it up at 5 here in the second set. Concordia had sent in Lexi Lohman. Lohman is out of South Range, Wisconsin, a junior. She's been playing back row, but has made a couple of nice defensive plays so far for Concordia in her time in. Frigi from the attack line, going to be too long, but touched is the call. And the point will go to the Vikings. So Frigi gets a kill to make it 6-5, Valley City State. Ellie Rush is going to step back to serve for Valley City State. Rush standing ready, and the serve is into the net. Error that will give the point back to Concordia. And we'll see Concordia with Samantha Van Heel doing the serving. Delaney Clark went down to get that one. Long run to get to it for Hansen, and Lucas will have to send it across on a bit of a broken play. Now a bad set coming out to Mallory Leitner. She has to reach behind her. Freegee tries to put that down. Good dig from Van Heel. Another block of the net, that time by Lucas. Now Concordia will free ball one from Lohman. And a second contact swipe once again from the setter, Sadie Hansen, who's really added that to her game well. She's done that a couple of times tonight for the Vikings. .com replay. Sadie Hansen right in the middle of the floor on second contact, reading that the defense was open as the ball went. Move around in those situations. Here's a tip by Concordia. That will tie the matchup up at 7 apiece. So 7 apiece between the Cobbers and the Vikings here in the second set. Vikings leading a set to none with a 25-12 win in the opening set. Second set a little bit more competitive. And I believe we're going to see Macy Fridgen go and grab the towel off the officials' podium and clean up the floor on the far side of the floor. Well, it's getting hot in here. It's, you know, you had the 80s come back to us here this week. Not exactly ideal for being indoors, and we've got one more week to go through of this. Couple of days through next week on Monday and Tuesday where it stays up in the warmer category before things begin to settle down a little bit and we get into that 60s weather that maybe we're looking for this time of the year. Saylor serves, pass from Rush is tough. Hansen tips it to keep it afloat. Concordia pushes deep and Hagler's there. Big attack by Freegee that was blocked. Stays with the Vikings. Fridgen from the outside, blocked but blocked wide. And the point will go to the Vikings to make it 8-7 after 15 rallies here in the second. Lexi Thorsgaard coming back onto the floor for Valley City State. Much more competitive second set after the first set was handily in favor of the Vikings. Thorsgaard serving, looping middle. Saylor able to reach down, make the pass. The middle again, and the kill attempt from Mallory Leitner. Vikings able to get a dig on it. Stays in the back row though. And Thorsgaard will have to send this over. Free ball to the middle again. This time through a block and scoring is Lauren Bangs. Vikings struggling to pass a little bit here as of late. Cobber's going to make a couple of changes. This will be their 6-2 switch. It'll bring Schultz back into the back row, and Megan Olson will come on as the middle hitter. The Vikings passed well in the opening set, and they've struggled a little bit here in the second set to try to put those passes in a playable area, and they're cleaning up the floor again. Got a good crowd here tonight. The students did a bit of a jersey theme here this evening. And it's a mixture, football jerseys, lots of basketball jerseys that we're seeing across the way. One hockey jersey over there. Good to see that represented as well. Delaney Clark the pass. Hagler just absolutely smashes a ball to give the Vikings a 1-point lead. Boy, Danielle Hagler put that one away with some gumption. Replay, Danielle Hagler got one in her wheelhouse right in the middle of the floor. You'll see a good pass here, and that's set perfect for Danielle Hagler. They act like, and the Vikings take a 9-8 lead over Concordia here in the second. Back row attack for Saylor into the net. Point to the Vikings makes it 10-8 on a back row attack error by Kayla Saylor. Probably their best all-around player numbers-wise throughout the course of the year with 4 blocks, 39 digs, 29 kills, can play back row, front row. That's why they like to utilize her in a back row attacker spot to keep that offense balanced. And here's Mallory Leitner getting the first chance that she's had for a while to swing at something good. She'll kill it to make it 10-9. Elizabeth Noggle will serve, and the serve is long. And the point will go to the Vikings to make it 11-9 in favor of Valley City State. So the Vikings up by a score of 11-9. And here's a low serve towards the floor, and the Vikings come up with another big block at the net. Makes it 12-9, Valley City State. Another big block for Valley City State at the net to get that one moving in the right direction. And it's good to see that block come back for the Vikings because that's a big part of their game. It became a big part of their game a year ago. They need that part of their game now as well. A little tip coming off the far side from Jordan Johnson. Hagler winding up and firing. Big dig by Avery Templin to stay in front of that. It'll come back to Templin, and she's going to free ball it back across. Delaney Clark runs it down. Hansen setting right side. Nelson grazed the back line, and the Vikings will make it 13-9. 13-9, Valley City State by 4 here on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. Much more competitive second set after the first was handily in favor of the Vikings. And now we'll see Concordia have to go to the opportunity to clean up a bit of the floor as well. So the Cobbers will clean it up. And the Vikings will serve off the right side. Little tip coming from Jordan Johnson. Delaney Clark gets to it. Lucas on the attack line sent it strong. And the Cobbers will pull back to within a 4-point margin. Rather a 3-point margin at 13-10. So 13-10 in favor of Concordia. Serve on the way. Morgan Nelson put one into the net in an attack error. That'll cut it to 13-11. Serve on the way from Concordia. This will be Lohman doing the serving once again. Vikings struggling to run it down. Another tough pass. Emma Lucas attacking. Whistle and net contact from Concordia. Kayla Saylor goes into the net to push the lead to 3 for Valley City State at 14-11. 14-11 Vikings. Danielle Hagler set to serve for Valley City State. Serve on the way from Hagler. And it comes out of the back row to the right, and a serve, or rather an attack error from Megan Olson, the middle hitter who was out on the right side. Vikings push the lead to 4 at 15-11. Danielle Hagler standing ready again. And Concordia will make another change here as Emma Nagonski, a freshman out of Elk River, Minnesota, will step onto the floor for the first time. Vikings by 4 at 15-11. Still a competitive second set. Vikings won the opener 1-0 on our LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard at 25-12. Nagonski tipping through a block and scores. And the lead is cut to 3 at 15-12. So now 15-12 in favor of the Vikings. Between 4 and 3-point leads, and it's been one of those situations where really the Vikings haven't been able to come up with a ton of separation. Here's a serve that Danielle Hagler can't handle. And the Cobbers put themselves back to a 15-13 matchup. So the lead cut to 2. And the Cobbers will serve again. Serve from Anna Canine. Be set to the right side. Morgan Nelson tips it over, but Cobbers right there. Templin able to dig it up. And an attack misdug by Danielle Hagler, and off the surface, it's going to cut the lead to 15-14. So things becoming a little different here for the Vikings in the early going. 15-14, the Vikings with their lead cut to 1 here in the second set. Emma Lucas able to come up with a big play to make it 16-14. The Vikings get back up by 2. Kind of a lull in the matchup, really. Not really side-out volleyball, but there hasn't been a ton going on, and they're cleaning up the floor again, which is one of the reasons why this one continues to sort of grind down into what we have going on at this point. Talk about the upcoming schedule for Valley City State. and what they have coming up down the road. September 13th, volleyball at Morningside. That'll be the next matchup for the Viking volleyball team. Also, the cross-country team is at the MSUM Twilight Meet that night. And then softball this weekend, Bemidji State, and also at North Dakota State coming up this weekend. So the softball players getting on the field as well. Ellie Rush with a serve and an ace. 17-14, the Vikings by 3 as Ellie Rush serves up an ace for Valley City State. And now Rush will attempt to push the lead back to 4. The Viking lead has never been larger than 4 here in this second set, and it took a while to earn that separation. Right now the Viking lead is 3 at 17-14. Rush to serve again. Good line drive serve. Templin able to get a pass of it. Tipped across the net by Nagonski. Freegee into a block. It's kept alive, and Lucas will send it back over to the outside. Van Heel able to get through a block attempt from the Vikings and cuts the Viking lead back to 2 at 17-15. The Vikings with their lead cut back to 2 once again, between 3 and 2, and now down to 1 as Van Heel serves up an ace. Maybe a little lethargy on this Viking side of the net. It doesn't look like they're playing a completely different lineup, but it seems like the energy level is kind of gone here. Vikings like to rebuild that. However, Van Heel will put one to the bottom of the net. The Vikings will push the lead back to 2 at 18-16. Macy Frigid will come back onto the floor, as will Reagan Bogenreef. And Bogenreef will serve for the Vikings. 18-16 on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. And the serve on the way for Bogenreef. Handled back row by Lohman. This will come to the outside, and the attack hits the back line from Mallory Leitner. And Leitner will cut the lead to 1 at 18-17. Faith Dooley comes over to the scorer's table and is going to make a substitution. I think she was checking her lineup to make sure she was in the right spot. Kayla Saylor set to come back into the matchup for Nagonski, and will do so. 18-17 Vikings on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. Vikings leading a set to none. Oh, by the way, let's correct that. My apologies. We are in the second set, not in the first. Apologies for those of you that saw that on the video feed. Frigid getting through a touch. Saylor out of the back row, able to dig it up for Concordia. Back near side, Leitner with a slide into the net. That was blocked by Freegee. And a push across the net will score. A little something taken off by Anna Kanine, the setter, who steps back. And that ties it up. The Viking 4-point lead gone now. It's 18-18. Concordia and Valley City State here in the second. Saylor will serve again. Sidewinder to the back row. Ellie Rush was able to handle it. Right side, Freegee able to get through a touch, but Concordia's there. They set middle, and that one's going to go long. An error. That's another one of the reasons why the Vikings have had a little bit more of a struggle against Concordia. They've made far fewer errors. Lauren Bangs had to reach back at that ball. The set was a bit behind her, and that allowed for Concordia to end up missing one long. But the Cobbers, who really struggled to find the playing surface in the first, have found their way back to a little bit more even here in the second. Serve on the way from Thorsgaard for Valley City State. To the outside, attack long again. Whistle, net contact against the Vikings, however. They're going to get Danielle Hagler in the net. That'll tie things up at 19 apiece. 19 apiece. And Betsy Schultz will step into the matchup for Concordia. And all of a sudden at 19-19, this is a very up for grabs second set. Ellie Rush going down to get one. To the outside, Frigid loading up, and that one misses wide. And for the first time here in the second, Concordia has a lead. Michelle Micklejohn looking down her bench. Has not decided to take a stoppage as of yet. And the Cobbers will serve. Back row, Delaney Clark with a pass. Hansen setting middle, and a tip coming over that, well, will not score. As the Comets, or actually I should say the Cobbers, able to return it with Leitner. Leitner comes back and attacks the outside. The Vikings go fishing, end up sending one long, and Michelle Micklejohn is going to call for timeout. Concordia takes a 21-19 lead on the Vikings here in the second, with the Vikings leading a set to none. We have a timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. This is Viking Volleyball on the Voice of the Vikings, the Voice of the Valley, KOVC, on the Valley City State University Viking Athletics YouTube channel, and on newsdakota.com.
Why choose Professional Eye Care Centers? 3 great reasons are Dr. Bond, Dr. Freilich, and Dr. Jangula, 3 of the most educated professional optometrists you'll ever meet. Next is their many locations. You can now see one of their spectacular doctors in Jamestown, Valley City, Carrington, Edgeley, Ellendale, and Lemoore. And finally, their fantastic selection. And yes, all of their frames and lenses are backed up by warranty. Visit proeyecarecenters.com and make an appointment today. Professional Eye Care Centers, clearly the best.
Looking for a quality, affordable education to get you the career you want? Strengthen your resume with a degree from Valley City State University. From education to business, fisheries and wildlife to software engineering, we have it all. Learn more about becoming a Viking today.
Big timeout taken here by the Vikings, trailing Concordia 21-19 in the second. Vikings lead the match a set to none, and they were dominant in the opening set at 25-12. But here's an ace, and the Viking energy has really dropped off in the second set. That coming out of the timeout. Lefty Betsy Schultz steps into that one. And Concordia looking to win their first set of the season. They came into this after 5 3-0 sweeps. Schultz serving, a little miscommunication in the back row, saved, Hansen to Frigin. And this will be sent over, but a good defensive play by Leitner to keep it alive. Saylor with a back row attack, and Lexi Thorsgaard running underneath that. Danielle Hagler dug up again. Schultz able to make the play. Saylor runs up, sends it over, and we're going to have an illegal back row attack. No, a double coming up against Concordia. Boy, that's a Viking blessing. Valley City State needed something to go their way. Sadie Hansen goes to the back row now for Valley City State, so they'll be back in their max offense here, which they need. They need to come up with a block to really change up some tempo here. That one instead gets through a block. Kanai, no correction, Schultz. I'm sorry, apologies. That was Megan Olson that went up and got that one. It's another factor for the Vikings. They have not been able to put together that solid block they had in the opening set. Noggle steps back to serve for Concordia. Looper to the back row. Delaney Clark, late decision, plays it. On the right side, Frigin sending one down hard, but dug up by Noggle. That defense has been tough to beat on Concordia's side of the net. Be set right side, Nelson, and again Noggle is there to make a play of it. Van Heel trying to send it over, and Hagler blocked that. Back to the right side, and a push will score from Jordan Johnson. And the Cobbers have earned set point on Valley City State here in the second. 24-20, the Vikings down 4. And a little bit of an early test here to see what kind of gumption Valley City State's going to have. Can they rally and try to make a push out of this? Let's see. 24-20. Cobbers by 4 here in the second. Vikings leading a set to none. And Noggle will serve for Concordia. Thorsgaard down to make a pass of it. In the middle, Hagler missed it. And the Vikings will be the first team to lose a set to Concordia this season. Very, very big turnaround for Valley City State in the second after Concordia was beaten strongly in the opening set. 25-12. The Vikings are beaten in the second set. 25-20, and we have a set to nothing, your score, as we go on to the third, which we'll do in just a couple of moments. So do stay with us. We'll get to more Viking volleyball in a couple of moments. This is our coverage of Viking volleyball on newsdakota.com with video coverage under the sports tab. Look for the link for the Vikings in Concordia. on the VCSU Athletics YouTube channel, and also on the Voice of the Vikings and the Voice of the Valley, KOVC.
When you're craving the taste of juicy, flavorful, locally sourced beef and pork, look no further than your locally owned Valley Meat Supply. At Valley Meat Supply, we take pride in bringing you the finest cuts of beef and pork straight from local producers. So whether you're planning a mouth-watering barbecue or a cozy family meal, choose Valley Meat Supply for the highest quality, locally grown beef, pork, and award-winning jerky, sticks, and sausage. Valley Meat Supply, West Main, Valley City. Your taste buds will thank you.
Get ready for an evening of fun and excitement as the Valley City CHI Mercy Health Foundation brings you Casino Night on October 5th at the Valley City Eagles Club from 5 to 9. Double down on an evening filled with food, casino gaming, silent auction, raffle boards, and prizes, hosted by Patrick Kirby. All proceeds raised at Casino Night will be directed towards upgrades to life-saving equipment at CHI Mercy Hospital in Valley City. For more info and to purchase your tickets, head to chimercyhealth.org under the Foundation tab and select events.
Hi, this is Clint from Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy in beautiful downtown Valley City, your only locally owned pharmacy since 1989. When you're locally owned, you care about your community and your customers. We offer a great selection of gifts and toys, as well as yarns, fabrics, sewing, and crafting. We are here for you from 9 to 5:30 weekdays and Saturdays 9 to 1. For all your pharmaceutical needs, give us a call, 845-5280.
Health Mart, taking time to listen and care.
Well, it was a great night for the Vikings to get started as the Vikings defeated Concordia 25-12 in the opening set. But we're going to go to the third in a 1-1 draw as Concordia responds, rallies from a 4-point deficit, and wins 25-20 as we get ready to go to the third set tonight. Welcome back to our coverage of Viking volleyball on the Valley City State University Viking Athletics YouTube channel, and also on newsdakota.com this evening, and on the Voice of the Vikings, the Voice of the Valley, KOVC. A couple of highlights from that second set. We'll see, first of all, Sadie Hansen, second contact play coming up. Actually, Danielle Hagler on that first one. Hagler's having a great night attacking the middle. We'll have to kind of work for that. Had some problems getting that second replay file to work out for us on the night. See if we can't fix that up for you. Just want to make sure the technology is working for everybody out there so that we know we can get to our max plays. We'll see if we can't come up with that. But in the meantime, we go to the third, and Concordia will serve to start things off. Betsy Schultz will be doing the serving for the Cobbers. Looper back row, Delaney Clark. Pass up front to Hansen. On the outside for Hagler. Whistle and net contact against Concordia. Will make it 1-0 in favor of the Vikings. See if we can get to that later play for Sadie Hansen. Here's a broken play for Concordia. And you'll see Sadie Hansen's second contact attack in the middle. And that's really what we were looking to show you in that one. She's had a very nice night and a very nice season doing that. Here the Vikings get a block and score early. Danielle Hagler coming up with a block for the Vikings to make it 2-0 in favor of Valley City State. So the Vikings with a 2-0 lead here in the third, and more stoppages to clean things up. That'll give us an opportunity to go back to what's coming up here for the Vikings. We had talked about softball this weekend. Bemidji State and North Dakota State. Some of the softball players are working concessions tonight for the Vikings, but you'll pay attention for those of you watching on newsdakota.com tonight and on the YouTube channel for Valley City State. September 18th, we'll be over at Gratian when the Vikings host Dickinson State, and you can see on the right side of your screen that's the North Star Athletic Association game. That's the first of the conference matchups that we'll have for you this season. Delaney Clark serving for the Vikings. Set back row, Kayla Saylor having to send this over free ball style. Thorsbard put it into a free ball, and a whistle. The Vikings have made an illegal attack. Looks like Sadie Hansen trying to save that. Ended up breaking the plane of the net. Center back row, if you're a back row player, you can't make that contact that puts it over the plane up above the attack line. So in the long run, an illegal attack against the Vikings. And an attack on the right side by Danielle Hagler as the Vikings slide her to the right. Now Lucas on the outside taking a little something off it. Leitner got a pass, put it into the net, and we're going to see more net contact. Betsy Schultz will put her hands on the bottom of the net. That'll make it 3-1 Concordia. Or rather 3-1 Vikings, I should say. Try to pick up some of the live stats that we have in this one as we go here tonight while we see Danielle Hagler stepping back to serve. And Naughton in the back row able to dig it up. They'll come to the right side, block that time. Morgan Freege lining up for the block for Valley City State. And the Vikings get a nice highlight for Morgan Freege to push their lead to 4-1. Boy, the Vikings need some of that coming back here. They really do. They've had a struggle trying to get their block going. And here's another block on the far side that Morgan Nelson will record. And that will make it a 5-1 lead for Valley City State. 4-point edge for the Vikings in the matchup as Danielle Hagler goes back to serve for the Vikings. Hagler standing ready. Serve a looper into the net, service error. Go back. On replay, the Vikings need more of this from Morgan Freege. You'll see Freege getting in the act right in the middle of the net once again. Coming to the near side, double teaming on that, but Freege really very nice night blocking this evening for the Vikings. 5-2. The Vikings with a 3-point lead here in the third. A tie matchup, a set apiece, and here's an ace rather that's coming up for Lohman for Concordia. That'll make it 5-3. Viking defense again struggling a little bit. We're going to see Danielle Hagler coming out of an all-around role here. Gracie Schumacher will step in as her defensive replacement in the back row for the Vikings. Get some of the numbers that we have for you in this one tonight for Valley City State. Freegen, 6 kills to lead the way. Morgan Nelson with 5. Danielle Hagler and Morgan Freege each with 5 as well. An attack that's sent back on a free ball, and then another attack that's touched by Concordia. And the point will go to the Vikings. 7 kills for Emma Lucas, leading the way here tonight. And a hitting percentage for Morgan Freege of .462 so far this evening, which is leading the Vikings at this point. 6-3, Vikings the 3-point lead. And Cobber head coach Faith Dooley asking for our R2 to check something out of the scorers table tonight. Not sure if this would be a rotational issue or if they're checking the scoreboard to make sure that the scoreboard is accurate. I think Faith Dooley felt like she had 4 points. I'm not sure if the Concordia book shows something different here, but we're having a delay to work it through. We have an experienced officiating crew here tonight, but apparently whatever was being talked about is not going to work out in favor of Concordia. And the Vikings will serve with a 6-3 lead. Serve coming from Ellie Rush. This will be taken by Avery Templin in the middle of the floor. And Van Heel sending one that found the near sideline, going court wide for a winner. The Viking defense again just a little flat-footed to rally to that. And we talked earlier in our pregame conversation about some inconsistencies for Valley City State throughout the course of the year, and they've had those throughout the course of the season. Off the far side, Van Heel sending one over. Gracie Schumacher covering, and a tip back across for Sadie Hansen. Van Heel again on the outside. Delaney Clark trying to run it down. Schumacher was able to save it. Sent over by Sadie Hansen. Up front, and a misplay. Canine trying to set for Lauren Banks coming to the net. Point will go to the Vikings, then it will be 7-4 in favor of Valley City State. I mean, it's worth mentioning that the Vikings have been up and down in some matches. They've won some big ones, swept a ranked opponent, then got swept by some teams that aren't ranked. And so in the long run, there's been kind of an up and down feel to the Viking volleyball season. And the lead cut to 7-5. 7-5, Vikings with a 2-point edge as Concordia serves. Sadie Hansen winding up on second contact again. Canine will return the favor on second contact for Concordia. Phrygian getting through a touch. And Lohman able to take care of that. And Gracie Schumacher reaching out to get to it. Hansen back to Phrygian down the near sideline. Phrygian comes up with a big play for Valley City State. And the Vikings will get one back to make it 8-5. Needed that for Macy Phrygian. Phrygian had a very nice start to the night and then really kind of dropped off as far as production in the second set. So it was good to see her get that one here in the third. More cleaning of the floor as Lexi Thorsgaard will step beyond the back line and serve for the Vikings. Thorsgaard standing ready. And the serve is on its way. Lohman there for Concordia. They'll attack from the outside, and that one long for Mallory Leitner. They're going to say, however, the Vikings touched it. And so the point will go to the Cobbers to make it 8-6. The Cobbers back within 2. Kayla Saylor will step into the matchup for Concordia. Lead cut to 2 at 8-6. Saylor standing ready. Serving middle, Delaney Clark was there to make the pass. Hansen runs to it, Phrygian blocked. At the net, Lauren Bangs went up to get her. And all of a sudden, Concordia is back within 1 at 8-7. One-point lead for the Vikings at 8-7. Concordia hanging around again in the third. Saylor serving. Back to get to that Delaney Clark slide, and a huge play to the back row for Delaney, or rather for Danielle Hagler. And Hagler's pumped up coming out of that one, trying to get her team involved. You can tell she's a little frustrated. The Vikings are just a better volleyball team than what they've shown here in the second and third sets. They've been a little defensively flat, you could say, and they've had their struggles finding themselves on the floor. Here's a service error by Sadie Hansen. And kind of tough to explain after a rock-solid start for the Vikings tonight that they've had this kind of struggle going on out there. We'll see Betsy Schultz coming back into the matchup for Concordia. 1-point lead for the Vikings here in the third at 9-8 on the LaRue Laco scoreboard. Vikings tied with Concordia at a set apiece. Delaney Clark stepping into a pass. Hansen setting middle. Phrygian splitting the middle and scoring. That'll make it 10-8. Your score. And Delaney Clark serving, just missed the near sideline. That'll cut it to 1 at 10-9. So 10-9, the Viking lead again trimmed to 1. And Mallory Leitner will do the serving for Concordia, and she sent it long. That'll make it 11-9. Morgan Friege and Gracie Schumacher set to come back into the matchup. Thorsgaard steps out, Hagler steps out. Serve on the way over. Concordia able to make a pass of it to the right side. They'll get through, whistle, and what do we got here? Net contact against the Vikings. They're going to get Morgan Friege in the net. And once again, this thing is down to a 1-point matchup at 11-10. Concordia will send Lohman back into the matchup to do the serving. Boy, this has become more of Concordia's tempo here as well. When you take the air out of the stadium, the Vikings were rolling in the first set, and that's what the Vikings like, a lot of high pace and fast momentum, and Concordia wants to slow this thing down, and they've done every bit of that as they serve up an ace in front of Schumacher to tie this thing up at 11 apiece. And it's a concerned Viking crowd looking around right now after the fabulous start that we had to this one. To see things sort of grinding down like this. Lohman setting lightly. Sadie Hansen covers the let serve off the net. Lucas attacking and finding the back line. And the Vikings are up 1 at 12-11. 12-11 in favor of Valley City State here in the third set. And we clean the floor once again as Ellie Rush will step in to do the serving. Rush standing ready. Serve down the far sideline. Van Heel trying to make a good pass and did. Was able to steer it towards the net. Was able to get it back over. Lucas attacking, and that one's long. And the point will go to Concordia to tie the matchup at 12 apiece. We'll see Anna Kanine stepping into the matchup for Concordia. Kanine standing ready. Serve on the way over. Schumacher there. Sadie Hansen sends it across on second contact. And Van Heel from the attack line is able to strike and score. And Concordia takes a 13-12 lead here in the third. Again, Concordia just grinding the tempo of this matchup to a halt. We were told that their offense is what they wanted to be fast, and this Viking team has struggled as Concordia has taken the air out of the place. A service error, and that will bring it back to 13 apiece. And Macy Fridgen steps on the floor, and this is the player that they need to make a couple of big plays right now to turn this around for Valley City State. Nearly the halfway point, or probably the halfway point in the set, 13-13, and now a service error by the Vikings. Makes it 14-13 Concordia. Delaney Clark will come back onto the floor. Mallory Leitner returns for the Cobbers. And Elizabeth Noggle will step in as the libero for the Cobbers and will serve off the far side. And Gracie Schumacher struggling to pass. Fridgen attacking and scoring. Makes it a 14-14 tie. Lexi Thorsgaard will come back into the matchup. And we'll see a return for Danielle Hagler as well. 14-14 in the third. A set apiece. Vikings and Cobbers in the home opener for Valley City State in volleyball. Big attack dug up by Thorsgaard. That came from Leitner. Thorsgaard has to free ball one over as the set went over Danielle Hagler. Second contact attempt by Kanine, and now a whistle. They're going to call a double, and a late call, but Kanine's going to be hit for a double, sending that one across the net. Our R1 taking a set to frame that up, second rather, to frame that up, and rules that Kanine doubled it across the net. Vikings take advantage of a Cobber error, make it 15-13. Pass from Lohman out of the back row to the right side. Little pop across the net for Concordia. Rush got to it. Big attack by Hagler, but another dig from Kanine. They have had her spied. However, the attack from Concordia, the return goes wide and an error. The Vikings have hit a lot of balls with some great tempo, and Concordia has just been able to dig them up in the second and third. That defense is really stiffened. That's one of the reasons why the tempo has ground down. The Vikings have been unable to finish in those spots. Kanine trying to save one after Lohman passed it to the net, and a joust is won at the net by Sadie Hansen. The Vikings take a 3-point lead at 17-14, getting a bit late here. Faith Dooley, the head coach of Concordia, up off the bench, and that's going to result in a timeout. The Vikings will see a timeout from Concordia as the lead grows to 3 for Valley City State on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard at 17-14. We have a timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. This is Viking Volleyball on the Valley City State University Athletics YouTube channel, on newsdakota.com, and the voice of the Vikings, the voice of the Valley, KOVC.
Sanford Health of Valley City is dedicated to transforming your healthcare experience and providing access to world-class healthcare right here in America's heartland. We're committed to improving the human condition at every stage of life through exceptional care, spiritual enhancement, innovation, and discovery. Schedule your appointment today at Sanford Health of Valley City by calling 701-845-6000 or self-schedule online at mysanfordchart.org. Sanford Health, here for all, here for good.
When your team, school, or business needs custom apparel or promotional products, Rambo is here to help. With over 40 years of industry-leading experience, state-of-the-art machines, and dedicated employees, we have the tools and facility to handle any job. With online ordering solutions for sports teams and businesses alike, you can count on us to get the job done correctly and on time. To get your next project started, contact Matt or visit us online at rambo.com.
17-14, Valley City State by 3 here in the third. The Vikings and Cobbers are even at a set apiece in the matchup. Cobbers take a timeout after leading briefly in this second set. They now trail by 3. And a hammer up front that's blocked, but blocked wide by the Vikings. Danielle Hagler went up and got a piece of that and could not keep it on the field of play, if you will. So Concordia gets through a block from the Vikings. And the lead is cut back to 2 here at 17-15. Nagonski back in for Concordia and will serve. And that serve's going to go long. Boy, the Vikings kind of living on Concordia errors right now to keep that lead up. Morgan Nelson will come back into the matchup. Nelson had a really nice start to the night, but really the front row players for the Vikings have struggled in the second and third sets. Phrygian probably the most success in there. Sadie Hansen serving, be taken up by Leitner in the middle of the floor, sent back across, and the Viking defense trying to come to the middle, but they can't find it. Just a little pop over from Jordan Johnson for Concordia. And the Viking lead is trimmed to 2 at 18-16. Lauren Bangs to serve. Serve on the way. Delaney Clark there. Sadie Hansen back setting Phrygian from the outside long. And the lead is trimmed to 18-17. Concordia back within 1. Hagler from the attack line. An attack on the far side of the floor that was touched by the Vikings. They've got to get to it. Into a joust at the net, and Leitner will go up and block it back onto the Viking side. That'll make it 18-18. Lauren Bangs stepping back to serve again. So here we are, another tie late in the matchup. And Bangs will serve. Pass coming from Danielle Hagler to the outside. Hagler blocked, but blocked wide. Point to the Vikings at 19-18 on Hagler's kill. Numbers for the Vikings at this point. Phrygian with 9 kills on 22 swings. 7 for Danielle Hagler, hitting .312 in the night. Morgan Frege still hitting .462. Service error by the Vikings. That'll tie it up at 19 apiece. But the Vikings haven't really been able to get Frege into the matchup as far as an offensive side of things. She's done some blocking tonight, but they really haven't given her much to swing at. Serve on the way from Mallory Leitner. Back row Hansen, up front Morgan Nelson. It's handled by Nagonski out of the back row for Concordia. Van Heel getting through a touch from the Vikings. Hansen setting right side. Hagler's blocked wide, and the point to the Vikings. Another kill for Danielle Hagler. Vikings first to 20. Gracie Schumacher set to serve, but the Vikings will once again do some floor maintenance, and they're doing a lot of it. It's not uncommon here in September in the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse to have to go out there and get some moisture. All right, the floor maintenance is taken care of. And Gracie Schumacher, a lefty, will serve for the Vikings. This pivotal moment in the match for Valley City State. And an attack up front that Lucas is able to block. Back to Van Heel from the outside. That's blocked. Concordia able to rally to it. Sent back across by Jordan Johnson. Vikings set middle, and Phrygian is able to put it away. Correction, there's Morgan Frege putting it away. The Vikings need Morgan Frege to be an offensive factor. She was hitting at .462 until that rally, and she just has not been able to find one to come her way. Schumacher serving an ace. And the Vikings make it 22-19, and that's going to take us to a timeout for Concordia College as the Vikings burst to a 3-point lead in the later stages of the third set. The Vikings leading 22-19. It's a set apiece on your Mobility Plus Rehabilitation and LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. We're back with more in a couple of moments. This is our coverage of Viking volleyball on the Valley City State University Athletics YouTube page, on NewsDakota.com, and the Voice of the Vikings and the Voice of the Valley, KOVC.
Experience the thrill, feel the passion, and join the excitement. Tickets on sale now at VCSUVikings.com.
Lang hard to the basket with a two-hand flush. He burst through it. He's to the end zone. Touchdown, Valley City State.
Here's the game-winning shot. Does it go? Yes, it does!
Nelson on the attack. Olin can't make the play. The Vikings sweep the Jimmy. Timeout taken by Concordia. 22-19. Valley City State with a 3-point lead over Concordia College in the third. A set apiece on the LaRue-Laco Financial scoreboard. And the Vikings will serve. Gracie Schumacher out of the Concordia timeout. Loops one towards the back row. Tough pass but saved. Van Heel with a big attack and down for Concordia. Go back a couple of moments. They find it. Morgan Freegie's been hitting so well tonight. The Vikings needed to do more of it, and there she was right in the middle of the floor to put one away after just a while, and that was good to see for the Vikings. Trying to reset the table for Valley City State offensively. 22-20. Concordia College down 2 to the Vikings in the third. You win the third set in a 1-1 battle. So much momentum there. Jordan Johnson to serve. Delaney Clark back row getting to it. Sadie Hansen back setting Morgan Nelson. That one was touched, was it? Nope. They're going to say wide. Point to Concordia. Vikings thought it was touched. The lead is cut to 1 at 22-21. Concordia trying to take a 2-1 lead in the matchup after not having won a set to this point in the season coming into tonight. Serving the way, Delaney Clark lays out for it. Hansen setting outside, Lucas off a touch. Covered out of the back row by Schultz. Up front, Van Heel tipping. Lucas covered the middle. Hansen setting middle. Freegee again and down again. Morgan Freegee. 23-21, the Vikings by 2. Freegee 8 kills, hitting .533 tonight after that effort. And the Vikings push their lead to 2. Can they get themselves to a set point and reset some momentum here? Ellie Rush set to go back. Rush out of Sisters, Oregon, a senior. Has been at times the lone player not from North Dakota on this roster. And I haven't looked through the entire roster, but that may be true again this year. Serve on the way from Rush to the middle, taken up by Elizabeth Noggle. They'll set middle, Van Heel tipping and scoring. And Concordia turns away a Viking effort to get the set point. Now, can you earn the side out? Talked about this last year. 23-22 when the Vikings were making their run to the Nationals. Good teams get the side out when they need it. Schumacher the pass, Freegee tipping. It's covered out of the back row by Concordia. They'll leave it on the attack line. Noggle will send it back across. Hansen will set. The attack from Emma Lucas is long. And we are tied at 23. And it's the first team to 2 here in the third. Anna Canine set to serve for Concordia. This is going to be a big moment in the matchup here for Valley City State. It's not just about the third set. There's a lot of momentum and direction on where this match is going to turn based on this rally. And it's Gracie Schumacher might have bailed Concordia out of a long serve. Lucas tipping, a pancake for Concordia keeps it alive, and a joust battle goes just wide from the Cobbers for the Vikings to get to set point. Wow. A pancake defensive play, I believe, from Canine. Got that off the middle of the floor. And the Vikings looking for a chance to claim the third in a tightly contested third set. Lucas serving, Noggle the pass, set to Van Heel, who's had a good run. Van Heel tips. Hansen setting middle. Freegee puts it down. And Valley City State takes it 25-23 in the third. Morgan Freegee just bursting to life with offense in the later stages of that set to give the Vikings a bailout and get them to a 2-1 lead in the match as they win the third by a score of 25-23. And we have a timeout For mobility plus rehabilitation on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard, the Vikings 2 and the Cobbers 1, 25-12, 20-25, 25-23. Take a look at some highlights from the third, and the fourth is on the way next here on the Voice of the Vikings, the Voice of the Valley, KOVC. Valley City State University Viking Athletics at newsdakota.com as well. And Valley City State University Viking Athletics YouTube page. We're back with more in a moment. Stay with us.
Orthopedic pain is limiting. It's unpredictable. And when it disrupts the way you move, it disrupts the way you live. Life is better when you feel empowered to move the way you want, when you want. And that's where our experts come in. We're your guides to orthopedic and sports medicine treatment options that can manage your pain, rehab your injuries, and restore your confidence. Take back the freedom to move. Explore your orthopedic options at Sanford Health.
Lever's Foods, best quality, best price. Lever's Foods, best service, they're nice. Lever's Foods, they make everything right.
Fall into savings all this week at Lever's Foods in Valley City. New crop Honeycrisp or Sweet Tango apples, $1.49 a pound. All natural pork shoulder roast, $1.79 a pound. Boneless sirloin steak, just $6.99 a pound. And banquet pot pies, 5 for only $4.85. Delivery is available by calling 845-1732. Lever's Foods, Valley City.
Looking for a college experience where you can get a degree and make a difference? Valley City State University is the top public regional college in North Dakota, as ranked by U.S. News & World Report. Visit today at vcsu.edu/visit.
Vikings lead by a score of 2-1 after 3, winning the third, 25-23. Welcome back to Viking Volleyball on our Valley City State University Viking Athletics YouTube channel, on newsdakota.com tonight, and on the Voice of the Vikings, the Voice of the Valley, KOVC. Vikings find a way to sneak that one out by a score of 2-1. Let's take a look back through a couple of big plays in that one. First, when the Vikings needed some offense, it was Macy Fridgen that they could turn to on the outside. You can see Fridgen loading up. They go back to the middle with her, and she's able to come up with a big play there. And then I believe that was actually the Morgan Freege clip that we had for you at that point. Again, apologies. We're having just a couple of problems getting that function to work here tonight. We'll clean that up. That's our first time through. But again, that was a play for Morgan Freege in the middle of the net, and that was a play out of the third set, and it was a big one. So the Vikings now with a 2-1 lead as we go to the fourth. They win the third by a score of 25-23. And now time to go to the fourth. Can the Vikings finish this in 4 sets tonight? All right, here we go. Sadie Hansen will serve for Valley City State. Hansen sending it over. Kayla Saylor able to make the play. This is to the outside, and Jordan Johnson has to free ball one back over. Fridgen waiting for it, calls for it, hammers it. Macy Fridgen, welcome to Valley City. Good to have her for the Vikings, and she gets the Vikings off to a good offensive start to make it 1-0. Hansen serving again. Kayla Saylor back up front to the outside. That one hit the back line. That's a good attack for Mallory Leitner for Concordia. And that'll make it a 1-1 matchup as Mallory Leitner comes up big. Concordia, they're going to manage some decent numbers tonight. Leitner with 7 kills, Van Heel with 8. She's really been the straw that stirs the drink. Morgan Nelson putting it away for the Vikings. But Van Heel with 8 kills. Leitner, though, 7 kills and hitting .438 tonight for Concordia as one of their leaders. Vikings up 2-1 in the fourth, and leading 2-1. Delaney Clark serving, and Saylor reaching out. Tough set here. They push back across on kind of an errant play for Megan Olson out of the middle. Big attack by Lucas. That's going to score, and the Cobbers are going to be in the net anyway. It looks like the call will go against Jordan Johnson, and the Vikings will take a 3-1 lead. 3-1 lead on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. Vikings by 2. Delaney Clark serving. Kayla Saylor out of the back row. Van Heel gets blocked at the net. Nelson was able to step in, take care of that. This will be pushed back across by Jordan Johnson. Clark off to Lucas, getting around some contact up front. Back to the near side. Van Heel attacking and scoring. And Concordia will cut the lead to 3-2. One-point lead for Concordia, or rather for the Vikings, here in the fourth set. Serve on the way over, and to the right side, they try to get Danielle Hagler active. That gets blocked. Now it's Lucas on the outside, and again, Lohman coming up with a dig out of the back row, and Saylor will put it away. Boy, that shows you just how good the Concordia Cobber defense has been. In the second, third, and fourth set, the Vikings go right pin, left pin. Going all the way across the net, Lucas getting a good piece of contact, and each time there was Lohman in the back row pretty much by herself for Concordia, looking to take care of that. Lohman serve on the way. Thorsgaard reaches out to make the pass. Hagler right side up and over a block. Vikings claim it was tipped. So does the official line judge on the floor. And the point will go to Valley City State to make it 4-3 Vikings. Hagler will come up with another kill for Valley City State. Phrygian with 10 kills on the night now. Hagler and Frege each with 9. Also Emma Lucas with 9. So a balanced effort for Valley City State tonight. They lead by 1 here in the fourth and lead 2-1. Bogenreef serving Lohman. Late opportunity to reach out and make a play on this. Saylor got some pretty good offense on this on a broken play. Up front, it's Lucas taking something off to find the middle. Lohman was able to get a pass of that. It's tipped over on second contact, and Nelson hit it wide. And the point to Concordia makes it a 4-4 tie. Anna Canine back into the back row for the Cobbers. And Lauren Bangs will come into the front row for Concordia. We saw Nelson in warm-ups. We saw her early in the matchup, and when Morgan Nelson is really good, the Vikings are really good. Couple of errors here and there, but she can have a really good season. She's one of those players, Morgan Nelson, that could really grow out of some of those struggles and come up with something spectacular on the year. 4-4 tie. Serve looping over. Taken out of the back row by Delaney Clark. Frege tipping, scoring again. Boy, Morgan Frege has been very, very good tonight for Valley City State, and it's been good to see. The Vikings have needed her lift offensively, needed her hitting percentage, needed her to kind of steady the thing. And it's 5-4 Valley City State by 1. And the Vikings will serve again with Ellie Rush stepping back to do the serving. Rush serve on the way. Van Heel able to make the pass. Stays in the back row. Lohman back row attack. Bogenreef, good play of it. Frege again. Hit the back corner and it's down. Morgan Frege again. Tremendous night for Morgan Frege with her hitting percentage. She has had an unbelievable night for Valley City State against Concordia. Came out blocking lately, though, has been the offensive leader swinging the arm. Ellie Rush to serve again for the Vikings. Naughton is able to take care of that. They slide it right side. Johnson on the attack, and Ellie Rush can't get a piece of it. Ends up into the stands on the near side, and Concordia cuts it to 1. A couple of moments ago on our NewsDakota.com replay. Morgan Frege has just been so good tonight. Watch this, set in the middle, and just went cross court with across the net, did something with the ball and targeted a corner of the defense. Bogenreef and Clark get tied up defensively. Frege defeats a block and scores again for the Vikings. Makes it 7-5. Morgan Frege's hitting percentage is going to be out of this world. They've got her for 12 kills, now hitting 600 for the Vikings tonight. Gracie Schumacher to serve for Valley City State. And it eats up Lohman in the back row. She got enough of it to keep it alive. Leitner will send it over, free balled by Canine. Second contact for Sadie Hansen, but Lohman ran that down. And again, the attack coming from the outside for Leitner. That's going to be a good one. And the Cobbers will cut it to 1. Frege tonight on our NewsDakota.com replay. Morgan Frigi again, this time from the right pin, just getting through a block and scoring. Floor tonight. Lead cut to 1 at 7-6. Serving the way, and Rush dives to get to it. Frigin from the outside defeats a block and scores. Macy Frigin comes up with a big play. 8-6, the Vikings with a side out. And that will push the lead back to 2 for Valley City State here in the fourth. Vikings leading 2-1. Winning the first and third tonight. Losing the second set 25-20. The first was won 25-12. But since then, Concordia has fixed some things that ailed them, including a lot of errors that they made in the first set when they were attacking. They just really hit the ball all over the place. Cleaned that up in the second set, the third set. And Concordia has tightened the defense and just been much better on the defensive side as well. Serve on the way from Lexi LaRue. Taken out of the back row by Saylor. And a tip across the net coming that time from Jordan Johnson. Vikings with it. Slide. Hagler defeats a block and scores. Danielle Hagler, one of the mainstays, moving out to the right pin, making it 9-6 in favor of the Vikings. Hagler's had a really nice night, and at times she's been quiet, but when she's out there, she's a leader for Valley City State, no question. Thorsgaard to serve. Taken out of the middle once again by Leitner. Leitner will get it back, carried one, blocked at the net. That'll be another block up front for Danielle Hagler. Makes it 10-6, and that's going to prompt a timeout from Concordia. It'll be a timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. The Vikings leading 2-1 and 10-6 in the fourth on our LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. We're back with more in a couple of moments, so stay with us. This is our coverage of Viking volleyball on the Voice of the Vikings and the Voice of the Valley, KOVC special sports presentation of NewsDakota.com and Valley City State University Viking Athletics on YouTube.
This is Dr. Ryan Lorenz, physical therapist at Mobility Plus Rehabilitation, with offices in Enderlin, Lisbon, Gwinner, and Valley City. Our mission is to provide exceptional physical and occupational therapy by highly skilled therapists to minimize pain and maximize mobility, which quickly allows you to return to the quality of life you desire. We will evaluate and educate you on your condition, review treatment options, and create an effective treatment plan to solve your impairments based on your unique situation and needs. I invite you to call our offices at Mobility Plus today.
Timeout taken by Concordia as the lead for Valley City State grows to 4 here in the fourth set. 10-6. Been a wonderful night to break in with our new partnership with Valley City State University Viking Athletics at NewsDakota.com, i3G Media, and KOVC. Wonderful to be with you tonight handling the Viking video streaming efforts for their home matchups throughout the course of the year. We're looking forward to seeing many more of these throughout the course of the season. An attack error from Concordia that will push the lead for the Vikings to 5 at 11-6. We're back at it again coming up next Wednesday, over at Gratian Gym. Vikings and Dickinson State. And then the Vikings and UJ the next night here at the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse. Thorsgaard to serve. Looping back row, Saylor got underneath it. Stands right side, block at the net for the Vikings. Did that hit Danielle Hagler a second time? It did. That's going to be the call. It hit Danielle Hagler again. Lead cut. NewsDakota.com replay. You need a play for the Vikings. You dial up Danielle Hagler, sliding to that right pin, just hammering and putting it away. And she's such an emotional Valley City State when she does that. Lead cut to 4 at 11-7 for the Vikings, however. Set Hagler down. Can't do anything about that. Danielle Hagler right in the middle of the floor. Superstar tonight. Her mom, Marla, is here tonight once again. Her dad, Jeff, coming down from Candu, North Dakota. Her mom was the head volleyball coach for the North Star Bearcats. Got them to a state tournament. Great volleyball family, great Viking family. An attack and score off the outside from Mallory Leitner. Cuts the lead to 4 once again at 12-8. It's just good to see this many North Dakota families that have been so good and seen so many times together at state tournaments that they've attended together. They come together all as Viking fans after being from different parts of the state and playing each other in those state tournaments. Danielle Hagler dives to take care of an errant play for the Vikings here. This will be set middle. Megan Olson, a seldom used middle hitter tonight. Nelson getting through a block and scoring for the Vikings. Dakota.com replay from a couple of moments ago. And you'll see it here. This is Hagler right in the middle of the floor, and it was just clockwork, just down. Not much you can. And Hagler impressive in this one tonight. Vikings by 5 at 8, they're rather 13-8. Delaney Clark sending one over. Back to the right side. Jordan Johnson touched by the Vikings. Delaney Clark, they set middle. Hagler speeding it up and scoring again. And now the Vikings taking some serious momentum. 14-8, Valley City by 6 in the fourth, leading 2-1. Looking for their 7th win of the season. Delaney Clark serving. Saylor in the middle making the pass. Van Heel getting up and over. Some contact. Sadie Hansen leaving it for Lucas, who defeats a block and scores. And that's the Vikings scoring from some distance. And Faith Dooley and the Cobbers are going to call for another timeout. Cobbers need a stoppage with the lead for the Vikings growing to 7 here in the fourth. It's 15-8 Vikings on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. Timeout for Mobility Plus Rehabilitation. And we're back with more Viking volleyball coming up next.
Are you on the right financial path? Are all your financial professionals on the same page? At LaRue Laco Financial, you can be assured that your investment professional and tax professional are working together. Call Ryan LaRue or Chase Carpenter at 701-845-6938. Securities offered through LPL Financial. Member FINRA, SIPC. Grotberg Electric believes in quality first, taking pride in the work and standing behind every project they do. They bring together the power, technology, and experience to keep your business online. The success of Grotberg Electric depends on 3 major ideals: the quality of their products, the commitment to their customers, and most of all, their customer service. Call Grotberg Electric today at 845-3010 or visit them online, grotbergelectric.com. Timeout taken by Concordia. They've used both. Vikings leading by 7 at 15-8. Delaney Clark serving for Valley City State. Saylor making the pass of it. Van Heel having to step back into an errant sent to attack and sent it long. And the Vikings now lead 16-8 over Concordia. Delaney Clark will stand ready. And the serve on the way from Delaney. Saylor there, off to the outside. A play coming from the outside for Jordan Johnson. Emma Lucas up and over a block attempt. Another tip across from Betsy Schultz on second contact. Vikings, Emma Lucas on the attack line, getting through some contact and scoring. And the Vikings take a 17-8 lead. Numbers at this point for Valley City State. 12 kills apiece. Danielle Hagler, Morgan Friege. Hagler hitting .455, Friege hitting .600. 11 kills for Macy Frigid and 11 for Emma Lucas. That's some balance. Lead 9 for the Vikings at 17-8, and a service error by Delaney Clark will cut it to 17-9. Lohman will come back in. I got to tell you, if you're a Concordia fan tonight, I'm impressed with what Lexi Lohman's been able to do in the back row. She's been a solid defensive player for Concordia, and her efforts have helped turn this thing around the second and third. Her efforts defensively kept the Vikings from running away with it. Serve in front of Emma Lucas will score an ace. Lead cut to 7 at 17-10. But Lohman was keen in digging up some balls for Concordia against Viking hitters that were executing well in the second and third. Nelson defeats a block and scores. 18-10 for Valley City State. We'll see Lexi LaRue come out of the matchup, and we'll see Danielle Hagler come out of the matchup. Reagan Bogenreef will step beyond the back line and serve for the Vikings. Serve on the way. Handled out of the back row by Naughton. And the tip from Van Heel. Emma Lucas will attack from the outside. Be pushed deep. Bogenreef, good run to run that down. Clark keeps it afloat. Lucas attacking court wide.
Lohman was able to make that pass. Van Heel again threw a touch of the Vikings. Clark put it into a joust. Hansen trying to save it. That's going to be an illegal back row attack. 18-11. You could see that coming as well with the illegal back row attack from Sadie Hansen. Was called earlier in the matchup, and you have to call it later in the matchup if you're going to call it in the earlier part of the matchup. So that changes things for you in that situation. And we'll see the Cobbers serving. And the serve will be a let serve ace for Anna Kanine. And the lead is now 18-12, Valley City State by 6. So Kanine, again, when the tempo and the air comes out of the arena, that's where it's just interesting. That's where it really becomes interesting. When the air comes out, it just comes out. It's really, really interesting that it just absolutely comes out of the arena. And that's where Concordia makes it happen. I mean, that's just where they are able to get things done at that point. 18-12 your score. They've got it at 18-12. They must have had a scoreboard malfunction up there, as we had it at 18-12 up until that point. Concordia attacking, blocked at the net. It's Morgan Freege again. Another big play for Morgan Freege tonight, who has been excellent. And we'll see Ellie Rush step in. Sisters Oregon product. And set to do the serving for Valley City State. Serve on the way. And it's misplayed. Kayla Saylor sends that up near the basket. And the Vikings are the first to 20. NewsDakota.com replay again for Morgan Freege. She has been so good tonight. This will be a block coming back. Not part of her offensive output, but you can see she just absolutely stuffed. Go with it for Concordia in the middle of the net. 20-12, Vikings by 8, cut it to 7. Another good play by Lauren Bangs, tipping on the outside. And we'll see Elizabeth Noggle come back into the matchup to serve for Concordia. 20-13. Cobbers trailing by 7 in the fourth and trailing 2-1 in the matchup. Vikings are now going to clean up some of the floor. Everybody's had to do a little bit of that throughout the course of the night tonight. And now they have corrected the scoreboard again. I thought so. Now it's 20-13. Cobbers back within 7. Okay. And Naughton, or rather Noggle, will serve it long. The Vikings go up 21-13. Great first set effort. The excitement, the energy was there. Just wasn't there down the second and third stretch. Concordia managed to get one of those, but they may have run out of gas against the Vikings now, as Gracie Schumacher will step in to serve for Valley City State. Lohman making a pass, bit errant. Saylor having to run it down. Lohman got a lead off the net. Freege saved it. Hansen on second contact, and a dive by Noggle kept it afloat. They'll set outside. Phrygian got through a block and scores. Phrygian makes it 22-13 Vikings. And we see Faith Dooley trying to get her team to rally for the final 3 sets, or final 3 perhaps rallies in this one. Although Gracie Schumacher would like to put it away for Valley City State, serving off that far sideline. Lohman reaching out for the pass. They keep it to Saylor on the right side. Vikings able to ding that up. Phrygian from the outside. That one in front of Noggle and will score. And the Vikings now lead by 10. And now the writing might finally be on the wall for Valley City State. (23-13) Valley City State by 10. Lohman the pass, and an attack goes long from the Cobbers. That'll make it 24-13. And the Vikings will come to their feet for set point. Set point for Valley City State. And the serve on the way from Schumacher. Match point for the Vikings as well, but it will be turned away for a moment. Kayla Saylor able to turn that away to make it 24-14. So the Cobbers stay in it for one more rally. And we'll see if they can stay in it a little bit longer. They serve, a dive by Ellie Rush, kept it towards the net, and Hansen trying to save it. This will be beyond the line for Fridgen. Fridgen trying to go outside the antenna to save that one. Couldn't quite get to it. Crowd trying to rally to life here to see if they can get this thing done for Valley City State. As it's now 24-15. Fridgen will end it. Final play of the night. Fridgen puts it away, and the Vikings will win the matchup 3-1. It was not easy in this one tonight for Valley City State, particularly in the interior. The tempo got taken away. Vikings didn't execute. The defense really toughened up for Concordia, but Valley City State rallies for a 3-1 win this evening. Your final score, Valley City State 3, Concordia 1, 25-12, 20-25, 25-23, and 25-16. Post-game report. We'll check out some highlights that we had from this one tonight and come back with a wrap-up from Valley City State in a couple of moments, so stay with us. This is Viking Volleyball, the voice of the Vikings and the voice of the Valley, KOVC, NewsDakota.com with video coverage, and also on the Valley City State University Viking YouTube channel. More to come.
We aren't meant to be still. And while you determine the direction you'll go, we're just here to help you along the way. So go. Go with experience. Go with teamwork. Go with neighbors. Go with integrity.
Why choose Professional Eye Care Centers? 3 great reasons are Dr. Bond, Dr. Freilich, and Dr. Jangula, 3 of the most educated professional optometrists you'll ever meet. Next is their many locations. You can now see one of their spectacular doctors in Jamestown, Valley City, Carrington, Edgeley, Ellendale, and Lemoore. And finally, their fantastic selection. And yes, all of their frames and lenses are backed up by warranty. Visit ProEyeCareCenters.com and make an appointment today. Professional Eye Care Centers, clearly the best.
Looking for a quality, affordable education to get you the career you want? Strengthen your resume with a degree from Valley City State University. From education to business, fisheries and wildlife to software engineering. We have it all. Learn more about becoming a Viking today.
When you're craving the taste of juicy, flavorful, locally sourced beef and pork, look no further than your locally owned Valley Meat Supply. At Valley Meat Supply, we take pride in bringing you the finest cuts of beef and pork straight from local producers. So whether you're planning a mouth-watering barbecue or a cozy family meal, choose Valley Meat Supply for the highest quality, locally grown beef, pork, and award-winning jerky, sticks, and sausage. Valley Meat Supply, West Main, Valley City. Your taste buds will thank you.
We go to our post-game report tonight. The Vikings win over Concordia College by a 3-1 margin tonight. Valley City State 25-12, 20-25, 25-23, and 25-16. The win for the Vikings will move their overall record to 7-4. No record in the conference as of yet, and Concordia will fall to 0-6 with a loss tonight. But Concordia ends up grabbing their first set victory of the year, and it came in the second set after the Vikings took a commanding 25-12 lead and win in the opener. Concordia bounced back, rallied from a 4-point deficit to win 25-20 in the second. And the Vikings nipped and tucked their way to a 25-23 win in the third before cruising on for a win in the fourth by a score of 25-16. Let's take a look at some of the highlights that we had in that final set of play for you here tonight before we go to the post-game numbers on this one, as we'll get to the NewsDakota.com replays that we have for you tonight. And this is just Danielle Hagler trying to turn that set around, and you can see her getting fired up. with that game, or rather keen in digging up some balls for Concordia against Viking hitters that were executing well in the second and third. Nelson defeats a block and scores. 18-10 for Valley City State. But the night tonight is going to belong to Morgan Freegee. As we had Freegee get active here with that block, she had a tremendous hitting percentage. Blocked, and then it's Morgan Freegee again. Did a tremendous job tonight. Powering on to the 3-1 victory that they had here this evening in the matchup. We'll take a look at the final numbers in this one here tonight. It'll be Macy Fridgen that ends up with 14 kills to lead the way tonight. She had 28 attacks on the night. Danielle Hagler, Morgan Freegee, each with 12 kills. Freegee hits 600. Hagler hits 455 on the night. Those are some great numbers. And Freegee comes up with a solo and 4 assists on a block for 5 total. Hagler 2 blocks on a solo, 2 on the assist. And the Vikings end up registering a grand total of 15 blocks tonight, a part that kind of got away from them at one point in the matchup. Delaney Clark, 13 digs to lead the Vikings this evening. That wasn't a huge part of the night tonight, but Delaney Clark with 13 to lead the way. But the Vikings get a really nice night from Morgan Freegee. She ends up hitting 600, 12 kills on the night and 20 swings, and 5 blocks to help lead the way for Valley City State this evening. Also, Sadie Hansen with a nice night as well. 46 assists for Sadie Hansen tonight. And Emma Lucas with 11 kills this evening also. Really nice night for Emma Lucas. The Vikings had great balance offensively. Morgan Freegee leading the way with 12 kills tonight. And that'll do it for our coverage of Viking volleyball. Up next, for those of you on KOVC, it'll be the Highliners and Devils Lake. That'll be Thursday night in town at the Highliner Activity Center. And then on Friday night, Highliner football taking on the Wahpeton Huskies. For the Vikings, next week, Wednesday, over at Gratian Gym, the Vikings in Dickinson State. Then on Thursday, the University of Jamestown comes a calling here at the Fieldhouse. And Saturday next week, it's homecoming for the Vikings as they will take on Dakota State in their homecoming matchup. But that'll do it for our coverage tonight of Viking volleyball here on the Voice of the Vikings, the Voice of the Valley, KOVC. Thank you so much for joining us in this one this evening. For those of you on KOVC Radio, we'll send you back to regular programming. And for those of you on the VCSU Athletics YouTube channel, as well as NewsDakota.com, thank you so much for joining us tonight for this presentation of I3G Media Sports, as well as Valley City State University Viking Athletics.